panduan penggunaan Zoom, dan bagaimana cara menggunakan fitur penerjemahan di dalam Zoom. Zoom User Guide and how to use the interpretation feature in Zoom. Izinkan kami dari Virtual Event Organizer Bahasa Global untuk memberikan panduan singkat. Please allow us from Virtual Event Organizer Bahasa Global to give you a Zoom User Guide. Bapak Ibu sekalian, mohon dapat memperhatikan panduan dan pengaturan dalam Zoom webinar kali ini. Paling penting untuk Bapak Ibu dapat memastikan telah mengunduh dan menggunakan aplikasi Zoom versi terkini supaya fitur interpretation atau penerjemahan dapat tersedia dengan baik di aplikasi Zoom Bapak Ibu. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly be mindful of the house rules during this Zoom webinar. And most importantly, in order for this interpretation feature to be available in your devices, please make sure that you are using the updated Zoom application. Bapak Ibu sekalian, bila kali ini mengakses Zoom ini menggunakan laptop atau komputer, di kanan bawah layar ada icon bola dunia bertuliskan interpretation. Mohon diklik dan dapat dipilih bahasa yang ingin didengarkan. Kami menyarankan untuk tidak perlu memute original audio. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're accessing the webinar using a laptop or a computer, on the bottom right of your screen, there's a globe icon says interpretation. Please click and select the language that you wish to listen, and we would like to recommend you to not mute the original audio. Bapak Ibu yang menggunakan handphone atau mobile phone, penerjemahan juga tersedia. Di layar utama aplikasi Zoom, di kanan bawah ada 3 titik. Mohon diklik dan dipilih Language Interpretation. Silakan dipilih bahasa yang ingin didengarkan dan terakhir klik Done di kanan atas layar untuk mengaktifasi layanan. If you are accessing the webinar today using a mobile phone, the interpretation feature is also available. On your Zoom application, on the bottom right of the screen, there's a 3 dots. Please click and select Language Interpretation. Please select the language that you wish to listen, and last, don't forget to click Done to activate the service. Terakhir, Bapak Ibu sekalian, guna memastikan kelancaran pertemuan hari ini, host dan co-host berhak melakukan mute audio atau stop video para panelis yang tidak sedang berbicara saat mereka tanpa sengaja menyebabkan gangguan terhadap acara. Ini dilakukan untuk menjamin suara pembicara dan juru bahasa tetap jelas. Terima kasih atas kerjasama Bapak dan Ibu sekalian. Ladies and gentlemen, please note that to ensure the smooth running of today's meeting, the host and co-host reserve the right to force mute the audio or turn off the videos of panelists who are not speaking that may be unintentionally causing disruption to the meeting. This is to ensure that the audio of the speaker and the interpreter remains clear at all times. We thank you for your cooperation in this matter. Have a productive webinar. Terima kasih.
Recording in progress.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I hope everyone had a very productive thematic session and a good lunch. So now let us start our 5th plenary session on the 3rd day or the last day of the 4th ICEF on Circular Industrial Park. Our first session, again, present the thoughts and views of leading executives, those more knowledgeable regarding the subject, and it is with my distinct pleasure to introduce to you our dearest moderator, Bapak Prasetyo Adi, from Green Building Council, Indonesia. Pak Tio is a professional architect and urban designer. He is the founding partner and managing director of PDW, an award-winning firm and top 10 Indonesia architects specializing in urban design and architecture in Jakarta. Pak Tio is also one of the core founders of Green Building Council Indonesia and committee members of World Green Building Council Asia Pacific Network. In GBCI, he is responsible for the council developments in liaison with World GBC and other GBCs around the world. He is currently also the director for international relations of Green Building Council Indonesia. Pak Tio, we're so happy to have you here. Take it away. The time is yours.
Thank you, Bu Amelia Yahya. Thank you for the kind introduction. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the plenary session Circular Industrial Park on the third day of the fourth Indonesia Circular Economy Forum 2021, organized by Green Ration Foundation. My name is Prasetyo Adi, or Tio. My friends call me, and I will be moderating the session. The topic is quite interesting because industrial is seen to be a dirty activities. Now we're talking about the future industry, which is has to include the circular economy in the context of industrial park. So I would like to introduce the panelists. The first speaker. We'll be exploring this session by looking at the perspective from government sector and business association. Now let me introduce the four excellent panelists who will be joining us in today's session. First, we have Ibu Andriati Cahyaningsih, Head of Subdivision of Industry Control and Supervision, Ministry of Industry. Dr. Andriati Cahyaningsih, SSI, MSI, finished her bachelor degree on physical geography at Gadjah Mada University in the year 2000. Then she took a master degree in remote sensing at the same university in 2003. She took her doctoral degree in environmental science in the University of Indonesia on 2013. Some of her research centered around the transitional model of agricultural areas to sustainable industrial cities. Studies of the influence of industry on the development of metropolitan buffer areas. She now works at Green Industry Center, Standardization Agency and Industrial Services Policy in the Ministry of Industry as an expert policy analyst. Without further ado, Bu Andriati Cahyaningsih, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Bu Amelia and Bapak Prasetyo Adi. Good afternoon for all the speakers and all participants. Healthy greetings to all of us. I'm so glad to be here, and on these occasions, I will share several programs from Ministry of Industry about green industry and circular economy and industrial park development and its relation to the potential circular industrial park development. Yeah. So as we know, the industrial development, industrial companies and industrial estate is required to utilize natural resource in efficient, environmentally friendly, and sustainable manner. So this requirement is we try to fulfill by implementing the green industry that aims to increasing the natural resource efficiency, competitiveness training, and environment impact management. And it's we achieve that by the green industry standard and green industry award. The green industry concept is set out to the green industry standard, which have been set for 28 standard right now for 28 commodity, and right now is still on ongoing process to preparation of green industry standard to other commodity. And to introduce the implementation of green industry and encourage the company to implement that, Green Industry Award program has also been carried out since 2010. And the assessment of Green Industry Award is a cover production process, emission and waste management, and company management aspect. So until this year, in average, the number of industry receiving Green Industry Award is more than 100 companies per year. So one of the tools to achieve the green industry goals in line with the waste problem that we have to face right now, we try to develop a circular economy in industrial sector. So the circular economy is also overcome the problem about the waste. And through a circular economy, we hope that used industrial product can have added value and benefit for a longer time. And what we do in develop of circular economy in industrial sector is use recycle raw material, extended product lifetime, waste management and utilization of waste, encourage the growth of recycling industry, and do capacity building for industrial human resources. And we still develop incentive for circular economy and for recycling industry. So also for the industry that implement the green industrial concept. So it's all of this the part of the our effort, our industrial sector effort to achieve sustainable consumption and production, which is SDGs number 12. So the develop of industrial estates. Next slide, please. Yeah. This is the develop of industrial estates that begins in 1970, which is called the first generations industrial park. Most of them were built by the government. And the objective of the development of industrial park are to control space utilization, increasing the environmentally friendly of industry development, and accelerate industry growth in the regions means not only in Java Island, and increasing industrial and investment competitiveness and provide location in infrastructure and planning development. So the second generation is developed or start at 1990 and dominate or start with the private industrial park. In first generation, dominated by state industrial park, and then in second generation, we start with developed by the private sector, and then in 2009, the third generation industrial park is we call the modern industrial park 2. What's the difference is we provide the vocational school, modern infrastructure and logistics system, R&D center, and new urban development oriented. And start from this years, we prepare to the next generations to facilitate the industry 4.0, that we will provide the smart infrastructure, smart logistic system, human capital infrastructure, and the thematic industrial park or smart industrial parks. So the first basic principle in development of industrial estate is sustainability. The next slide, please. Yeah, this is the industrial park development principle. That the first basic principle is develop industrial park that's suitable with the spatial planning, site location, and land use in industrial estate must according and refers to the national and regional spatial plans, or we call RTRW or RTRWN. Yeah. So the second principle is industrial infrastructure, that availability of transportation network is in example like port and airports, and energy and electricity networks, water supply, telecommunication, and sanitation. So water supply, I think it's very required to guarantee about water supply, and give certainly about the water resource that industry can use. So the third principle is about environmentally friendly, that companies of industrial park have to have environmental management and control. So the fourth principle is efficiency in locations, infrastructure, and service aspect. Next, please. Now, this is technical guidance of industrial parks construction. So in industrial park development, there's three stages. The first is park constructions, then construction, and next the operational stage. So on operational stage, there is a need or required comprehensive management, including the environmentally management that consists of promote and implement of green industry, energy and water efficiency, compliance with environmentally regulations and quality standard, and emission and waste monitoring and control. Next.
5 more minutes, Bu Andriati.
Okay. Yeah, and the eco-industrial park, we think that is main foundations to smart industrial park based on digital technology to utilize the industry 4.0. Yeah. So smart tools for eco-industrial park is smart management in energy, water, air conditioning, logistic, security, and transportation. Next. So in line with the green industry purpose, the development of eco-industrial park is one of the effort to increase resource productivity, improve the economic, social, and environmental performance of business, and develop a sustainable industry in Indonesia. So we see that eco-industrial park is achieved through the integration of economic, social, and environment, and circular economy and green industry is creates a potential for development of circular industrial park. Next. So based on a distribution of industrial estate right now in Indonesia, that more than 120 or 130 they distribute in around Indonesia, the potential for the development of circular industrial park certainly requires further studies to mapping and identify about potential for symbiosis between industry in the within the industrial park, and between industrial park and between industrial park with the community. So we see that the opportunities is number and distribution of industrial park, number and types of tenant in the industrial park, thematic industrial park development for the fourth generation industrial park, and communities around the industrial park. But the challenge is how the existing of a business flow and scheme right now and distance between industrial park. So also licensed transportation and how community can accept things. And the first step for develop to circular industrial park, we need to mapping the readiness of industrial park and tenants and the society around industrial park. Also doing knowledge sharing with other country, I think is like today's event. So I think there are still many steps that need to be taken to government and to private sectors and by all relevant stakeholders to achieve the target of implementing the policy to develop a circular industrial park. So thank you.
Thank you, Ibu Andriati, for the presentation. Before we start to the next speaker, I would like to remind you that we have an interpretation menu at the bottom of your screen, and also we have, if you want to ask a question, there's a Q&A box at the end of, there is a Q&A in the end of the session, so please feel free to ask in the Q&A box, mention your name, institution, and who you are asking to. Now, next we will move to Mr. Walter Stahel, founder, director of Product Life Institute, Dr. H.C. Walter R. Stahel, founder director of the Product Life Institute from Geneva, founded in 1983, the oldest consultancy in the Europe devoted to developing sustainable strategies and policies. MA in architecture from ETH Zurich in 1971, visiting professor, Faculty of Engineering and Physical Sciences, University of Surrey, 2005, full member of the Club of Rome, 2015, senior research fellow at the Circular Economy Research Center of the École de Pont Business School, 2019, that already produced corner books, Jobs for Tomorrow, the potential for substituting manpower for energy, 1976-1981, from Vantage Press, New York, and the Performance Economy in 2010, published by Palgrave, the Circular Economy User's Guide 2019, published by Routledge. Without further ado, Mr. Walter Stahel, the time is yours.
Thank you, Chairman, for this kind introduction. Now, how can I share the screen? Okay, here we go. And how do I move forward to the next slide, or are you moving the slides?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. So the important thing is to realize that the sustainable development or sustainability and circular economy are two sides of the same coin. One is qualitative world, the other one is a physical world managing capitals. But caring is the common denominator. Can we have this next slide, please? The nature has a circularity by evolution. Water, people, wood, wool, leather, food, stones. And one of the very sustainable constructions is infrastructure, because they are functional by design and therefore enable long-term use. But I'm going to talk about the manufactured circular economy. Next, please. So the circular economy at large is about essential services to preserve the stocks of natural capital, human capital. You have the full list. And so it's managing the stocks, maintaining quantity and quality of stocks, whereas the industrial economy is about managing flows to create value added. Next, please. There are two special renewable resources, water and labor. Water, I let you read the text, because it's without water there is no life. Labor, because people are not only a renewable resource, but the only resource with a qualitative edge that can be greatly improved through education and training, but will rapidly degrade if unused. And policy should regard these specificities of labor and therefore prefer labor as preferred resource. Next, please. The lessons from nature and industry are that in nature, there is no waste, because any discarded objects or materials are food for other organisms. This means that all waste is man-made. And with regards to synthetic materials, which are outside nature, circularity implies an industrial man's responsibility. Next, please. So why should we change from the present to a circular economy? The societal benefits, you can see, is a 66% reduction of CO2 emissions, a creation of additional jobs, and a positive impact on the trade balance. These are figures for Sweden, but the same figures basically have been found in most European countries. Next, please. So we have two tasks to achieve a circular industrial economy. Low waste, transforming the economy into a loop, a closed loop of service, life extension and recovery of molecules, and low carbon. We need disruptive innovation in sciences, because the circular industrial economy can only reduce CO2 emissions by 66%, but we need innovation to provide at least another 33% of GH2 CO2 reductions. Next, please. So this is a mature circular industrial economy of low waste, because it starts at the point of sale. In other words, we start with the assets we have and we make the best use of it by extending the value and utility of stocks. And Then we come to the area of D for delinking, where we recover the molecules as poor as new from used resources. That's a huge challenge of the circular material economy. And these resources can then be reused in production. And then we have a closed loop. Next slide, please. So the area of R of the circular industrial economy is about local essential services to maximize the use of objects. It's done by local SMEs, reusing, repairing, refilling, reprogramming, remanufacturing. And the area of R increases societal resilience. For example, operation and maintenance services, cleaning rainwater runoff channels to prevent flooding, remanufacturing what cannot be repaired, creating skilled local jobs, and collecting derelict abandoned objects for reuse, repair, remanufacture, enables to industrialize regions. So this is the area of R has very strong regional industrial development side. Next, please. The area of R valorizes locally existing stocks of objects and enables an upskilling of labor to teach unskilled workers the skill of trades, and promotes SMEs, enables them to grasp technology of new products and develop operation maintenance skills as door opener to become producers. During COVID, essential services and their importance have become closely visible compared to manufacturing. Next, please. Now, low waste is, through service life extension, one of the key innovative technologies is technological upgrading of existing objects. It is faster and cheaper than manufacturing new up to state-of-the-art objects. Here you see the world's first commercial all-electric plane, which is a 1964 de Havilland Twin Otter seaplane that has been remanufactured, and remanufacturing is also a strategic advantage. It's been one of the 5 pillars of China's industrial strategy since 2006, and is imposed even for countries, foreign companies working in China. Unrivaled quality and attractive prices. The ecologic benefits of the area of R is that it preserves the resources embodied in objects. In infrastructure, buildings, durable goods, the water and electricity consumed and CO2 emitted during production are preserved as long as objects continue to be used. And of course, this is also a cultural story. Now, who is in charge of this area of R, of reuse and repair, remanufacture? It's you and me, it's all of you in charge of our belongings. So we have to become very conscious that we are the force in the area of R, not some industry or policy. The area of D, so delinking atoms and molecules, was born when science decoupled man from nature, 1946. Nuclear physics, synthetic chemistry, metallurgy and alloys. The area of D now is a global competitive issue. It's about economics and low carbon innovation. It's about depolymerizing polymers, de-alloying metals, deconstructing buildings and infrastructure to recover the value and purity of existing materials.
You have 5 minutes.
Thank you. Using plastic waste as a local energy resource, this I think isn't done yet anywhere, but the ocean plastics that arrive on all the beaches could be used as energy, because plastic is basically oil. So we have to learn how to incinerate these. And the area of D needs multidisciplinary innovation in systems, also social systems, system solutions, circular energy, circular chemistry, circular metallurgy, life sciences, new business models. This is a huge innovation challenge on a global level, and it's about competitiveness. The business models of the performance economy are goods as a service, molecules as a service, function guarantees, or simply manufacturers selling performance. This is the most profitable and sustainable strategy of the circular industrial economy. Next, please. The performance economy is disruptive because it introduces time into economics and therefore redefines quality as the optimization of system functioning over long periods of time, whereas the present linear industrial economy only optimizes the technical systems, in other words, preventive engineering and efficiency, but resource efficiency, loss prevention. So coming back to the business models of the performance economy, it drives sustainability because if the public procurement buys performance, it provokes innovation. And the economic actors will now build things that last forever because then they make more money than by disposable. But selling performance also means that economic actors have to retain not only ownership, but also the liability of objects, internalize all costs of risk and waste. The benefits are they avoid carbon taxes, transaction and compliance costs, and gain future resource supply security. By buying performance, public procurement promotes radical innovation. These are my two main books of this millennium. 2019, the Circular Economy User's Guide has now been translated into your language, into Bahasa Indonesia, and should be published in a short time. Policy changes to drive the circular economy. Spreading the scientific, technical, economic knowledge and know-how of the circular economy to all schools and actors is key to promote the circular economy. Adapting the legal framework to a low waste, low carbon circular industrial economy is the other policy challenge that has to be achieved. Thank you very much for your patience. I wish you a good conference and thank you for inviting me. All the best.
Thank you, Mr. Walter. Very interesting take on your presentations. It is very enriching, and we learned that sustainability and circular economy is at the same point, and we need to look at the local resources and also SMEs, empower them, as well as spreading the knowledge and also the policy on public procurement and also for the performance economy that needs to be need to be amplified. Our next speaker is Mr. Sani Iskandar, Head of Industrial Estate Association of Industrial Estate Indonesia Industrial Estate Association. He received his Bachelor of Economics from Udayana University and Master of Business Administration in the Prasetya Mulia Business School. From 1993 until now, he became a director in Sinarmas President Office, a senior advisor Sinarmas Land, chairman and head of Karawang International Industrial City. In 2015 to 2021, he also became a vice general chairman of Chamber of Commerce and Industry in the field of economic zone development. In 2014 to 2018, he also became a head of Indonesia Entrepreneur Association and in the property and economic area. Without further ado, I will ask Mr. Sani to present his presentation, and the time is yours. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pak Tio. So, as a moderator, so I know you well, Pak Tio, also from PDW.
Yeah, Pak Sani.
Okay.
Thank you, Pak Sani.
Yeah. So, good afternoon, all speakers and also all participants on this panel forum. So, let me from the Indonesian Industrial Park, or we call it as HKI, Himpunan Kawasan Industri, to share a few regarding with circular industrial parks. Okay, yeah, yeah. Next slide, please. Yeah, first of all, I want to share with you regarding to the economic zone. It is a big picture of the industrial park. So before I come to the industrial park, so let me share the understanding of the economic zone. So economic zone is an integrated area of the economic activities in which equipped by the supporting infrastructure and facilities developed and managed by the business entity. So yeah, there are some forms of the economic zones development. Maybe mostly we know that economic zones means that it is just only industrial estate. It is related with manufacturing or processing the activities. But now Indonesia also so many others understanding of the economic zone. It is such kind like tourism zone, logistic and distribution zone, science and technology zone, education zone, health zone, energy zone, and the others. And also from the type of the economic zones, we know that also there are some type, yeah, it is related with the incentive status. So maybe we know that there are such kind like, beside industrial estate, but also there are such kind like free trade and free port area. It is KPPBB, Kawasan Perdagangan Bebas dan Pelabuhan Bebas, like in Batam, Bintan, Karimun, and in Sabang. And also such kind like bonded zone or Kawasan Berikat. Yeah. And also special economic zone. Now we have more familiar with kawasan ekonomi khusus. Okay, next slide. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, in Indonesia, there's around 103 industrial park. Here it is around 22 province, yeah. And mostly it is located in West Java, Central Java, and also on the East Java, and also in the Rio Island. And yeah, due to the policy of the government, especially from the President Jokowi, now the government enforce so many industrial park to build and to manage in the many area of our region. Yeah, because as you know that for the every new industrial manufacturing industry, it should become inside of the industrial park. So that's why, yeah, now the government push such kind like state-owned company or also from the private developer to build the industrial park in many regions. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, it is the business process of the industrial park. So starting from the general planning stage, so from the corporate establishment, and also to arrange all the location permit and also the land matter, especially for the land acquisition, and then prepare for the basic design and the others. And then continue to the development stage. So the company prepare the master plan for the AMDAL, for the detailed design, and also such kind like earthwork, cut and fill activities to develop the infrastructure, to prepare the articulation, and also to get the master land title. It is a HKB. And then for the marketing stage, it is how the industrial park area also have a strategy to attract the new investor come to the area, to do the sales and promotion activities, and also to get the land certificate and deliver to our tenant, and to manage the good relation with the all tenant. And then the last stage, it is for the estate management and the business development. So our core product actually it is for the industrial lot. So it is also can be sell or also can be rent. And then how we manage the estate, and then how we also maintain the infrastructure, utilities, and all the integrated services. And also, yeah, we can develop some supporting facilities in the area of the industrial park, such kind like accommodation, like apartment, housing complex, and the others, commercial space. And also we can build for the rental factory, rental warehouse, and for the other supporting facilities. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, it is the circular economy on the industrial park. So yeah, according to us, it is not so many, it is can be utilized. So at least we know that there are three kind of the waste in industrial park. So first it is waste from the wastewater treatment plant. And yeah, we know from the government regulation that the sludge from the WWTP, it is categorized as a hazardous waste, P3, and it should be disposed to the landfill. And then it is the number two, it is the waste from the landscaping, such kind like leaves, weeds, branches for the compost, and also liquid organic fertilizer. And then number three, it is a waste from the maintenance and the construction activities. It is such kind like asphalt pieces for the inspection road, materials, and concrete. And the other resources management of each industry, will be managed by all of our tenant themselves. Next slide. Yeah, it is for the clustering and thematic industrial park. So inside of the industrial park, it is also can be arranged as a clustering, circular industry. So for example, it is like industry of the plastic, automotive, or textile. And it can be named as a thematic industrial park. As we know that Indonesia now, it is also, the government also have a policy to build the halal industrial park. Circular resources or waste management in this park can be managed much more better among the all industry instead of the industrial park. Okay, so maybe it is just a few from me regarding to the circular economy in the industrial park. Thank you, Pak Tio.
Thank you, Pak Sani. Interesting take on your extensive experience on the industrial park management. That the economic zones now already developing into other industries as well. So if you talk about term industry, it's not only now talking about factory or warehouses, but other activities as well. Yeah. And the resource management that tenant has managed to the conventional industrial park that need to transform into the circular economy, and of course the industry needs also to transform themselves. Okay, so we are moving to the last speakers. I would like to again remind you that you can fill in the Q&A box for our next session, Q&A section. Last but not least, we have Mr. Bijaksana Junere Sano, or I call him, or everybody call him Sano, founder and managing director of Waste for Change. Sano is a social entrepreneur, an engineer of urban consciousness to care for the environment. With the modest appearance of environmental activist, the CEO of Green Generation Indonesia, a social enterprise that focuses on promoting an eco-friendly lifestyle through products and programs. He is also the managing director of Waste for Change, a waste management company, and the founder of Green Generation Foundation that I'm also involved in. Sano asked me to be one of the board, an NGO that focuses on improving human behavior on waste management. Sano, your 15 minutes is yours. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mas Tio, all the speaker. Thank you very much for participating in this event. Mr. Walter Stachel, we meet again in this session. We create this Indonesia Circular Economy Forum after I got your presentation and attending your presentation in Taiwan. So thank you. Can you share my presentation? Yeah, thank you. So we see that waste management one a very important part of circularity because this is something that can close the gap and can also recover the material that can be used again in the industrial itself. Next. So I would like to introduce Waste for Change. We are a company that offering responsibility of waste from the upstream to the downstream with a vision of reducing the amount of waste that ends up in the landfill. Indonesia have a lot of landfill that's still open dumping. That's create a huge problem for us. Next. How we do it, we end-to-end for waste management solution. We start from educating the stakeholder and also we promoting the policy to the government, and we help to start segregate waste at source from the collection, and also we will collect the waste in a responsible way. We will not mix again like a usual practice in Indonesia. There is 10% of waste that already segregate at source, but it will be mixed again in the transportation. That's the reality in Indonesia. And we will have the facility to recover this material material recovery facility. And then we will use the material to be sent into the industry that use the material as their resources. And we create all of this with a traceability system, so we can have a waste journey report to make sure that all the practices are responsible. Next. So we already conduct many research, community development. We are helping World Bank, USAID, GIZ, the Ministry of Industry itself, with the electronic waste project. We also work with the Ministry of Maritime Affairs and Investment, with the Bappenas, and also with the Ministry of Environment and Forestry. Next. We also currently already collect and manage the waste. 2060 clients that we have, including the industry or company, the waste that we are managed. Next. And this is this very basic. Yeah, this is still like Mr. Walter Stehel said, that we still focusing on the R phase. Yeah, how to reduce, remanufacturing, recycle all the waste and the material. Because to do the D phase, we need more in Indonesia. We need more R&D, research, and also investment for that. I believe it's very important in the future for Indonesia. Now we need to improve and also increase the R phase in Indonesia. How to reduce, reuse, recycle, remanufacturing, refurbish all the material, yeah, for taking the longer time of the life cycle. So we need to make sure that all the process it's not wasted. So all the material can be used in the optimum way, in the optimum possibility in the economic value chains. Next. This is several of our clients that use our services. Next. So for WM Eco Park, waste management Eco Park, we believe that in every industrial park, there is need of waste management. Next. And this is something that we see that it can be one of the thematic industrial park. Yeah? And eco-industrial park is a sustainable industrial zone. The other speaker already said about this, that eco-industrial park is creating an area that resource efficient and cost effective, that friendly to the environment and inclusive toward neighboring community in order to balance economic, environmental, and social development objective. Next. So it's very huge benefit that eco-industrial park from the economic perspective, benefit, also creation of the green jobs, employment, the social benefit, and also mostly the environmental benefit. Optimize the raw material, energy, water, and the waste. Next. Why this is very important? Because current in Indonesia situation, we have a very huge complex of waste problem. Yeah, 70% of our waste goes into the landfill. This is a material that wasted. So this is very unfortunate. This is happened. So we need to do more and more R phase in Indonesia: remanufacturing, refurbish, recycling, reuse, recycle. So it become a lot of potential on economic, and also we can take a better sustainability mostly in the waste sector. Yeah. Next. So a better ecosystem for waste management stakeholder, number one is waste management integrated concept. So it needs to be an integrated and emphasizing the circular economy. And also we need a long-term land availability for waste management activities with more affordable rental costs, and also minimize the constraint, risk, and social issue of having to obtain permit and WM waste management activities at specific location. Next. Waste management eco park, we see that this can reduce the environmental impact and also create sustainability waste management business activity, and it can create all the loop system into the production and the consumption, and provide a better value chains and circular economy implementation. Next. So we see that this is something that we need to build in every industrial park in Indonesia, or maybe one of the thematic industrial park, focusing on the waste management, utilize the material that unused or already not wanted by several industry, but it will be very important resources and material for the other industry. And for that, we need to filling the gap. And filling the gap is the waste management and recovery material facility is very important. So for the energy, we can use the residual waste that it cannot be treated, recycled, compost, or even convert into the bio conversion. So it can be also revised derived fuel to substitute coal or another energy. But we must be utilize the first priority to recover this material to be recycled and also treated on the organic treatment product. And we can also scale up the waste management eco park to create also hazardous waste treatment facility, recycling factories in this area, and also creating closed loop circle in the industrial park itself. Next. And the facility, it can be very important for the education for many stakeholders because we need showcasing that we can create a good concept and circularity inside the industrial park. And this waste management facility, one thing that we need to be more focused and also integrated with the system. A lot of potential that currently lost because we not built seriously into this waste management mechanism. And also we can scale up the development to the next phase to expand the value chain. Next. So the economical benefit, of course, the logistic fee will be more cheaper because this is near the industrial park itself or even inside the industrial park, and create a closed loop circle in the circularity of the industry. We see in Netherlands that the organic waste treatment can sell the heat to another factory, to another industry, because this can be a closed loop system. So something like this, like Mr. Walter said, performance services or performance economy. And we can also create the potential impact to improve the economical surrounding area, providing jobs and reducing the greenhouse gas. Next. Why now? Indonesia already have target to manage waste 100% by 2025, 30% waste reduction at source, 70% waste recovery. And also the NPFP with the government already do the research that to establish and also reach the target of government, we need to invest 13.3 billion US dollar, and also with operational funding per annual 1.8 up to 2.2 billion. So the waste industry market, there is opportunity to create also green jobs and green opportunity. And the most important thing, private developed area, including industrial park, this is area that have a management, private management, is required to provide waste facility. So this is an obligation. This is a mandatory action that every facility, included industrial park, should have a waste management facility. Next. So the industry need to make a significant contribution to create sustainable cities, including the SDGs number 11, sustainable cities and communities. And we see that creating the circularity on industrial park, one huge step to create and maximize the material within the industrial itself, to reprocess the product, creating the energy within the industry. So it's very important to utilize this material. Next. The role of waste for change currently, we are work with the government and work with several stakeholders. Next, that we work to create better end-to-end operation for managing waste and creating a better value of this waste that it can be used by the industry. An example like paper factory, a current regulation by the government that the paper we cannot import easily now. It will be more harder to import waste paper come to Indonesia. So we need to utilize paper waste inside in local sourcing in Indonesia, and it connect to the industrial park that have factory on a paper. So this is something that we need to connect the dots and create a local and circularity in the national level. Next. So, and digital and IoT is very important to create the traceability. Yeah. So we can understand, start from the industry, we understand the material, and then the collector, we understand the material. So we can also mix and match this material to the industry who need the material itself. So database is very important, and digital can be a very important role to create circularity in industrial park. And we are investing on this system and digital to understand the flow. And this is pretty much very aligned with the government to create a 4.0 industrial park. Next. And the impact, of course, it's very important to create this waste management industrial park, because it can create 2.6 better than the baseline of recycling rate, and also the waste treatment, and reducing disposal to the landfill 7 times better, and also creating a better livelihood. Next. So wastewater itself, we already manage waste, and it can reduce the carbon equally to plant these trees. Next. So we working now with the government and local government to help them to create strong policy instrument and also the implementation. And we connect a business partner to create innovation working together, because waste still a public services. So this is something that we are doing. We're working with several industry now to talk about how to create circularity in industrial area. Next. This is something that we are invite everyone to work together to create a better ecosystem, how to reach a better, and also we need more waste management facility in Indonesia. So creating this circular economy platform and also the ecosystem is very important. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sano. Interesting presentation from the other side of the we call it the pelaku industry, yeah. From your presentation, that we can see that the how complex it is to manage waste that currently is public services. You are also emphasizing on the digital and IoT use for this closed loop circle concept. And there is a huge potential in not only in industrial area, but I think is in industrial activity at large to achieve the national target. And one of the most important thing is innovation in collaboration, not only innovation in technology itself, but as you may know in Indonesia, not only within the government, but collaboration within all the stakeholders. Now it's the Q&A session. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have heard incredible presentations from our excellent panelists. Now we are moving to Q&A session. There's already been several questions that are on the in the box. First is from I think it's Ibu Yuliawati. The question is for Bu Andriati and Pak Sani. What are the steps that have been taken by your organization, Minister of Industry and also HKI, moving industrial park into circular industrial park? I think some of it has been also explained in the presentation, but I think I give the chance for Bu Andriati first, maybe to answer, and then Pak Sani. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the questions. I try to answer according my position as government. So, Ministry of Industry maybe make the or have the program for industrial park for generations. So the eco industrial park gave the facility, a smart system facility to support making Indonesia 4.0. And the other programs about the circular economy, we focus on 10 commodity. And so for circular industrial park, as I said before, that we still need to mapping and identify for the first time about the potency of industrial park industry symbiosis and industrial park symbiosis, and the what the challenge, what the opportunity, and how about the acceptance of the management of industrial park, and about the readiness of industrial park companies. Maybe it's the answer for the first question. So we still in progress for develop the fourth industrial park or eco-industrial park, smart industrial park, and we still on progress too, still ongoing to develop the circular economy. So once again, we still need mapping and identify about the potency of industry and industrial park symbiosis. Thank you.
Thank you, Bu Andriati. Pak Sani, please. Is Pak Sani still? Okay, Pak Sani.
Okay, sorry, it's still on
Okay.
So, okay, but yeah, so yeah, we as from the Industrial Park Association, we also always try to push our members, the industrial estate companies, to promote the implementation of the eco industrial park. And yeah, we also try to ask our members to following the eco industrial park program. It is conducted by the Ministry of Industry. So yeah, for example, it is frequently with with UNI2. So yeah, we try to study and also to conduct what is the UNI2 program. It is implemented on the all industrial park in Indonesia, and especially for the some economic waste. Yeah, we also asked to the all industrial park to treat such kind like economic waste can be managed also together with the business community. For example, it is such kind like from the small medium enterprise. So yeah, we still try to implement what kind of the eco industrial park in the every industrial park in Indonesia. And of course, yeah, we need such kind like support, yeah, from the government and also from the environmental consultant for this thing. Yeah, thank you, Pak Tio.
Thank you. Maybe follow-up question from me to both of you. Industrial park is one thing, but there's also industry that outside the industrial park. How maybe it's more to Ibu Andriati, how you manage, or how you as the authority manage this, because I know that industrial park is deemed to see it as a expensive area to work on, to settle. How do you oversee this?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think yeah, maybe industrial park is more expensive than if companies buy outside the industrial park. But we have to remember that industrial park provide the facility more than the area outside the industrial park. And so about the environment, for license or permitted for environment, if the companies stay in industrial park, we don't need to handle about license or about permitted environmental permitted. So it's more easy to stay industrial park than outside or other industrial park.
Oh, thank you. And then yeah, we have to encourage every industry to follow follow the regulation, and if necessary, they have to relocate themselves into industrial park, whether it's possible or not. Next question will be to Mr. Wartastahel. What are the lessons learned from the example of circular industrial park implementation? Is there any advice for Indonesia's industries to implement circular economy? This is from, I think it's Bu Anis Sania from Universitas Islam Indonesia, Yogyakarta.
Thank you for the question. I wrote an answer on the discussion panel. Basically, the area of R is local, where the objects and the clients are. So it's really SMEs working locally, repairing a building, repairing cars. You have to do it in a decentralized way. The industrial parks correspond to the area of D because they are normally regional and the processes are often national or global, the technologies. So but the area of D is still mainly a end of pipe solution. It's necessary. We have to deal with the waste from the legacy waste from the Anthropocene, but the future will lie in finding chemistry and metallurgy and energy that is circular. So for example, circular energy is geothermal or hydrogen fuel cells because they don't produce any waste or CO2 emissions. The circular plastics is, for example, PDKs. It's new polymers that can easily be depolymerized and reused for exactly the same application, the same quality. The tricky question is the circular metallurgy, because it's very difficult to produce steel without coke or coal. But in Sweden now, steelworks have started to use hydrogen. green hydrogen from green energy, green electricity, and to reduce the CO2 emissions in steelmaking. But as the previous speaker said, the big challenge is really not to mix the different steel or metal alloys. If we want to reuse aluminum or steel alloys, we have to collect them separately. And that is very difficult with the technologies we have today. So for example, if you take a drink can made of aluminum, there are two different aluminum alloys. One is for the tube and one is for the cupboard that you can open. And if you really want to recycle 100% of purity and value, then you have to separate the two. You have to cut the two and separate the aluminum alloys separately. Now, if you take a modern car in the state-of-the-art technology cars, you have, in order to save energy, manufacturers use about 20 different steel alloys and up to 12 different aluminum alloys. And it's impossible to separate these things. So if you extend the service life of the car, then you actually can preserve the embodied resources. But if you put the car in a shredder, then you end up with a rush with mixed waste, mixed steel, mixed aluminum, and then you can only use it for the lowest possible quality applications. So the big challenge is really to produce on the production side very few metals and very few plastics that can then be separated, identified, separated, and recycled, reused, recover the polymers, the atoms, the molecules. With the present materials, this is almost impossible.
Hello. Okay. Mr. Walter, thank you for your, is that all?
Yeah, yes, unfortunately. Okay. Yeah. It's the same. Okay, it's the same for paper. If you want to reuse recycled paper at the highest value, you have to recover or collect separately the different new papers, such as newspapers and computer print, and separate from cardboard. Because if you mix everything that looks like paper and cardboard, then again you will only end up with the lowest quality and value solution.
Yeah, thank you for the answer. Next question will be for all panelists, but highlighted to Miss Ibu Andriati Cahyaningsih from Bapak Rama Arianto from Bapeda Jawa Barat, West Java. Transforming industrial parks from modern IP third generation to industrial park 4.0, the third generation will need heaps of effort, since many changes need to be done from technologies that are being used, supply chain to overall systems. What difficulties have been identified, and how will the government, either central, provincial, or local, help this transition, especially for SMEs, small and medium enterprises, or IKM? And how can other parties, academics, investors, employees help this transition? Suggestions from other speakers will be welcome. Thank you. Bu Adrianti?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for the question. So, to transformations from third generation to fourth generation of industrial park, we think that the challenge is especially on technology investment and human resource capability. So we have to hard effort for new technology that compatible with the smart industrial park, and how to encourage the human resource, or we do the capacity building for the employee and for the society or community around the industrial park. So we made the change especially to the new industrial park, and for the existing industrial park we do step by step as long as it's impossible to transformation to the fourth generations. Thank you.
Any other panelists you want to any suggestion from other panelists, if I may? If not, then we can move to other questions. There are 3 more questions in the box. Any comment from other panelists, Pak Sani, Pak Sano, and Mr. Walter?
From me, no.
Okay. Now, moving to other next question from Ibu Sinta Kaniawati. I believe she's from Unilever and also same organization, lead fellow with me and Sano. To all panelists, so every one of you have to prepare an answer. Has the approach on eco-industrial park changed in response to pandemic, as you need to also apply the health protocol and additional hazardous waste? How we could mitigate the risks for the people and environment? Thank you. Maybe Sano first.
Yeah, this is something inevitable, because our current situation, because of this pandemic, changed everything, the way we live, the way we do something, the way we work even, but still business and industry need to adapt about this. Waste in our sector, in our industry, is concluded by the government. It's a critical industry, because without a waste management, I believe everyone will scream every morning because the waste is not collected. So because we are on the critical industry, so we need to still work. We cannot work from home. We cannot collect the waste from home. So we need every day collect the waste through our client and to the people who generate the waste. So we need to adapt on that. All the health protocol, all the additional measurement for the hazardous waste we do, and we create the new standard of procedure to protect our operator, to protect our worker, and also to protect our client. Why? Because if in waste management sector and waste industry we are not doing the change and adapt, of course it's really dangerous, because we the one who at the end of the goal post to protect the health of the society, because COVID stated by the scientists that they can still live in paper, in metal, in fabrics, in every in several time of hours. So we need to do those kind of measurements. So we educate our client. We educate our management area to do something about the new standard of procedure to manage the waste or managing the material. Of course, we do the adaptation.
Thank you, Sano. Maybe from Walters, do you have any comment on the current pandemic?
Yes, the big problem is the economics defines productive work as the only thing creating value. In other words, if you produce a car and you sell the car, and then that the owner can sell it to somebody else, that's productive value. But the whole circular economy and caring for natural resources, caring for health of people, caring for waste, or what I call derelict goods, are essential services, but they are decentralized, they are local, and they are not recognized as creating value in economic theory. So the economic theory has to change, that next to productive work, there is also essential services, which actually are much more important for the resilience of society. Because as the gentleman said, if the waste is not collected, then we will suffocate. The local areas, cities will suffocate. So these waste collection services are essential, and they have to be done even in a pandemic. The same with hospitals. You have to provide services by doctors and nurses with obviously relevant protection. But today the salaries, the high salaries, go to production and globalized industries. And this has to change if we want to maintain stocks of existing natural and human resources, manufactured resources. Then we have to recognize that these essential services are as necessary, and even more necessary, for the survival of society than the productive work. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Sani. Short comment on the practice in your industrial area, industrial park.
Yeah, not directly, but Pak Tio, so let me yeah, I want to stress on this point, yeah, as Ibu Adriati also already knows, that by the law of the industry, so it is Undang-Undang Pendustrian number 3, year 2014. So the government already enforced to all new industrial manufacturing company to be located inside of the industrial park. So I just want to remind all the
regulation.
Yeah. So yeah, of course, it is for the protection of the pollution environmental impact here. For the example, for the such kind like wastewater. If we compare, there are hundreds of the industrial manufacturing company, which is located inside and outside of the industrial park. So of course, the situation, it is very different. If that 100 of the industry located inside of the industrial park, so the all wastewater disposal from each industry, it will be centralized to the industrial park wastewater treatment plant before disposed to the river. So means that the government, it is very easy to control. Just only to control the one company, one entity, means it is the industrial park management company. But if that 100 industries located outside of the industrial park, so yeah, the government has very difficulties to control to each industry. So yeah, as you know, yeah, on last maybe 2-3 years ago, yeah, so Pak Luhut it is also try to clean up the many industry located in the Ranca Ekek area, with the program of the Citarum Harum in Bandung. So it means that because all of the industry, it is located outside of the industrial park. So yeah, I just want to remind for the all business communities, and as it is also already explained to Ibu Indrati, Yeah, maybe first, maybe when they come to the industrial park, maybe they assume that the price of the land it is very expensive. But for the long future, yeah, because yeah, we prepare all the infrastructure, utilities, security, anything, so it is can be more efficient. Yeah, it is just my. I just want to stress this point, Pak Tio. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Sani. That's important because now it's always competing with other resources like apa namanya, agriculture. Maybe last question to Mr. Walter and Andriati from Pak Guswandi. Is there any potential conflict of interest in planning and implementing circular economy, creating a territorial tension or conflict between agents related to circular economy? And what is the solution?
No, the tensions will be between the globalized production of goods and the economy of scales that normally is cheaper compared to repair or remanufacturing locally by SMEs, because there is no real economy of scale. So the governments may have to, and in the European Union that's already now discussed, may have to impose carbon taxes on imported goods, because all the local repair and remanufacturing does not produce CO2 emissions, whereas the globalized manufacturing and transport logistics produces a lot of CO2. So if you tax the CO2 of imported goods, then this discrepancy between economy of scale and the decentralized solutions will disappear.
Okay, thank you. I think the time is already up. We already offer time. Thank you, panelists, for the brilliant answers. And we hope that the answers satisfy your curiosities. And I apologize, there are a couple more questions that cannot be answered because of a time limit. But please feel free to type in the answer in the Q&A box. To conclude the session, excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, from this session that we can conclude that circular industry is a big thing. It's matters a lot. We have to help the government. The government has placed policies and also upgrading the infrastructure. I think one of the point that Mr. Walter Stahel also highlighted, that further from the circular industry as a conventional industry itself, we need to think about the infrastructure that government do at the moment. That how I'm intrigued with the term performance economy that is disruptive, and public performance procurement that is almost non-existent. I think it's also it is, I think, outside the Ministry of Industry control, because it's more to the construction. If we know that Indonesia at the moment are building a lot of infrastructure projects, new capital city that we don't know, but most importantly, build a lot of infrastructure in terms of public services, hospital, roads, etc., etc. I think it's important to elaborate more, maybe in next ICEF event next year with Green Generation Foundation. We know that industrial park that has been established that can give services. Pak Sani and his association is working very hard to comply, to upgrade, to provide services. That since now it's costly if you're talking about short-term economy, but if we discuss about sustainability, it will be like the benefit for humankind. And Sano, as a practicing circular economy activist and also providing services through several companies that and organization that is responsible to is also upgrading themselves, talking, and more especially is doing a capacity building not only for all the not only for the people who are in the industry also, but all stakeholders involved, including the civil society, up to the grassroots. I know how Sano works. I think it's been a fruitful session. Unfortunately, the time's already up. Thank you all for the panelists and all the participants that's in the forum for attending this session. And please look forward to other incredible sessions at ICEF, although it's the last day. I would like to hand over the sessions to Ms. Amelia Yahya. Thank you very much and have a good afternoon, and please stay safe and healthy. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much, Pak Tio, for excellently moderating the session, and also for all the speakers for the excellent discussion. So to conclude briefly, the circular economy is indeed now at the forefront of the competitiveness agenda for various industrial sectors, and also industrial parks and many more. And the speakers' recommendations are surely very useful on how industrial parks can promote the circularity of not just resources, but also to build competitiveness through innovative technologies and business models, and what governments can do to support such initiatives. So once again, everyone, thank you so much for your insights. And now let's have a short break, and we'll continue our next plenary session, our last one of the forum, and we'll be right back at 2:45 Jakarta time. And thank you so much. We'll be right back. Sorry. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. So our last plenary session is on advancing circular cities from research and innovation. And this session will be moderated by Bapak Dida Gardera, the head of ITB. Please allow me to tell you a little bit about Pak Dida. Pak Dida spent most of his career in the Ministry of Environment since 1995, before it merged under the Ministry of Environment and Forestry in 2015. He received his Bachelor in Science in Environmental Engineering from Bandung Institute of Technology, or ITB, and a Master in Science in Social Policy and Planning from London School of Economics and Political Science. In 2020, Pak Dida Gardera was also appointed as the Assistant Deputy for Agriculture, Pharmacy and Tourism at the Coordinating Ministry for Economics Affairs. And previously, his position was as the Assistant Deputy Minister for Environment Conservation. He still deals with issues on climate change, including the carbon market and some other environmental areas. He has many experiences in climate change international fora as speaker and Indonesia's lead negotiator for UNFCCC meetings. As Pak Dida may not be able to finish this session will also be co-facilitated by Ibu Asri, the treasurer for the engineering section of the Alumni Association of ITB. So Pak Dida and Ibu Asri, the time is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Amelia Yahya, for introducing me. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the plenary session, Advancing Circular Cities from Research and Innovation. On the third day of the fourth Indonesian Circular Economy Forum, organized by Greeneration Foundation. My name is Dida Gardera, and I will be moderating the session together with Ms. Asri Inke. One of the most challenging measures is to implement the conception of circular economy in the scale of city. Of course, we have abundant examples from abroad, but I'm quite sure that Indonesian cities have their own uniqueness and encounters. So that's why we need more research and innovation, and I believe they will come up from the precious session this afternoon. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we will be exploring this session by looking at the perspective from the government sectors and business associations. Before we start the session, I would like to remind participants that we have an interpretation menu at the bottom of your screen. We are also going to have a Q&A session at the end of the session, so please feel free to ask the Q&A to fill the Q&A box, mention your name, institution, and who are you asking to. Now, let me introduce first panelist. We have Mr. Venkatachalam Anbumozi, Senior Economist at the Economic Research Institute for ASEAN and East Asia. Anbumozi Venkatachalam is the Director of Research Strategy and Innovation at the Economic Research Institute for Asia, or AREA, and has more than 20 years of broad research experience in climate modeling, disaster impact evaluation, and circular economy at both strategic and operational level. Following multi-year assignment in the South and Southeast Asia for Japan International Cooperation Agency projects in the 90s and teaching at the University of Tokyo for several years. He joined also as ADB in 2008 as capacity building specialist. At ADBE, he assessed the impact of current climate change policy, resource efficiency program of major ASEAN countries on low carbon development, and provided intellectual leadership for developing climate risk assessment method and their integration into sub-sectoral programs. As task manager for joint ADB study, he developed a meta-analysis to evaluate the economic and social impacts of low carbon energy policy in 7 DMCs. He was the coordinator of ADB World Bank e-learning course on microfinance, wherein ASEAN and African good practices on impact as evaluation are shared. Without further ado, I would like to invite our first panelist, to Mr. Venkatachalam Ambumozi. The time is yours.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, everybody. And it is my great pleasure to be here this evening and be as a part of the fourth Circular Economy Forum. And my focus here today is how to advance this circular agenda in the cities through innovation. And IRIA, Economic Research Institute for ASEAN and East Asia, is based in Jakarta, and we are working for 16 economies in the region. So I will share you some of my thoughts how we can advance the circularity agenda in the cities level. And many of you know that is by 2050, and most of the population, I think the world population, will be living in the cities. And then the cities will be producing more emissions and more waste when compared to the past by 2050, I think. And third one is most of these cities will become the drivers of the economic growth. Some calculations say about more than 60% of the GDP will be coming from the cities. So from this aspect, and the cities has a very significant driver of the circular economy. And we can identify there are basically 5 drivers and why the circular economy is important in the context of ASEAN and the Southeast Asia. Here, the first one is this structural waste and the economic loss. And we have come to that, cities has come to the critical level where they cannot afford the structural wastes because they are very much linked to this raw material and the price risk. Because these cities also not only in exporting, but they also started consuming these raw materials that is faced with very the supply side risk. And this fluctuations has an impact on the competitiveness of the cities, how the business are running within the cities. And the fourth driver is the ecosystem degradation. We know that is how this municipal solid waste has becoming a threshold level where that is our incineration capacity is moving out, and these landfills are moving out of here. We need a kind of new models to introduce these cities to bring the competitiveness. On the other hand, we also see these advances in the technology, like this IT technology, Industry 4.0 technologies. This new technologies has to be married with these challenges to tackle some other issues like urbanization. As I told, more people will be living here, and also we need to accept this acceptance of these business models. And then the regulator trends at the global level and at the local level is also changing. So these are basically the 4 or 7 narratives we can say that is where the circular economy's focus should be lies on the cities. And there is a very much imperatives and for going for this resource productivity. And when we think about the circular economy, and the circular economy is not about just simply waste management. This is about improving the resource productivity. So here, if you can see, that is how much the countries are using the resources to produce one economic unit for one US GDP, And here you can see about for the Japan with this same input, they could be able to produce 4 tons of $4 of unit. And when coming to that is second, we come the German and Cambodia. But if you come into the ASEAN countries like Indonesia, it loves about 0.5. Basically, it is nearly 1/3 of the productivity. That is, we are for producing the same amount, we need more resources. I think these resources are mostly utilized at the city level. Another is this waste management. For example, if you take the Bangkok, the city of Bangkok, in 2008, it is 1.303 kg per hectare, per kg per person, but it has been increased to 1.55. Here, I think nearly only 90% of this waste is basically managed in a proper way, and most of them are eradicated. And there are some technologies that is available to transform this waste into energy streams or the material streams, but still they are equipped with many challenges like the technology and the funding challenges. So here, this concept of circular economy, as I told before, this is a kind of a new economic model or the business strategy for the cities, which take into consideration these resource constraints that exist now, and it is going to become in the future. Here, basically, circular economy, if you think in as a business model, basically it has the 5 operational agendas. One is minimize the use of the resources by looping the cycles. Second thing is finding the new value for using the products and services. And third one is sustainably designing the products and services where the innovation comes in. And overall, basically, the circular economy at the city level is improving the system efficiency, how these raw materials are coming in and how it is going out, and how we are managing in. And basically, this is also minimizing the system externality, that is the negative externalities or the co-benefit that we are looking for it. So this is a kind of a circular economy in nutshell. But if you come to the practice, and IRIA has been working on the circular economy for the past 7 years, and here we basically look into this three jurisdictions, and we can say one is at the micro level, and it could start, if you go to the city level, it could start with its either farm level or the SME level, where we in the last session we have been discussing about this SME or the cleaner production or the eco design level. And another is the meso level, where we sit, our focus is more on the cities, how this symbiosis, this industrial symbiosis is taking at the cluster level. And here where we found the most of the eco-industrial parts happening out. And then at the next level is the macro level, and it is at the economy-wide level, where we need a kind of a regional eco-industrial networks. And this basically, these things works at the production area, and most of our focus is on the production area, where we found the primary and the secondary and the tertiary materials. On the other hand, there are three domains that is we are researching on it, how that is consumption area, that is a sustainable consumption could be happen at the farm level, at the city level, and also at the macro level. Here we found very different models of consumption that is happening at the city level, like sharing the economic and renting the services and the green purchase and the consumption. And these waste management systems, we found many cities has been adopting these product recycle systems and also urban symbiosis process. But what is more important here is the policies and the laws and the information platform, as well as the capacity building for the different stakeholders that is operating at the city level. So here we found also there is an informal sector that exists in the cities level, and basically when we think about this waste management or making this close looped cycle, and we found many of the local governments and NGOs are supporting the waste pickers, providing something for the safety. But often this informal sector has been not recognized well, and it has been not tied to the markets and the consumption and demand patterns. And here we found basically this magnitude is completely increasing, and then we find about 0.1, 0.2 to 0.15% of this informal sectors are operating in the Bandung. In Jakarta, it is up to 0.35%, and the Manila cities, it is 0.795%. And in Phnom Penh, it is 0.35. It shows, I think, there is a problem, and this circular economy is very much well within the social fabric of these cities, and these informal sectors we cannot neglect. And it has to be. Some of the cities like Rio de Janeiro has been formulating some of the new innovating mechanisms where we found the social safety net has been created for these informal sectors. And basically, if you come to this region, and there are three innovations that is happening, and this one of the first innovation is the circular economy concept has been embedded through the 3R approach. There is a reduce, recycling, and then the recovery systems. And here the Malaysia, Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam are the group of the ASEAN countries that are systematically planning the 3R into this circular economy concept. On the other hand, and this Cambodia and Laos PDR are some of the aspiring nations, and most of the cities, Phnom Penh and Vientiane, and now this Luang Prabang is a part of the smart city movement, where it is looking forward to have a proactive policies on the waste management. And one of the best example we can see is Singapore. And another innovation that is happening at the company level, at the city level, is this extended producer responsibilities. And most of the cities are now becoming they are imposing this regulations on the multinationals and the local companies to initiate the voluntary recycling program for the end of their life products. And for example, the Fuji Xerox, and this is one of these multinational companies, and it has been parting this extended producer EPR as a kind of a rule rather than the norm. And here also this Alpha Mart and Tetra Packs, basically they have collecting the recycling systems. Here, this use of this extended producer responsibility is to introducing the rules and regulations. And here in Singapore, we found many partnership programs, and Vietnam and Indonesia is also preparing for this EPRs. Another important innovation that is happening at the city level is the green public procurement, where these cities of Singapore and Bangkok and Chiang Mai has been implementing is. And in Indonesia, many cities has been producing or are implementing these green labeling programs, and where we found very many community-based organizations at the city level are active in produce the products that is coming from the different waste materials. But most of this problem here is this marketing, and here this public procurement policies. Still this local government public procurement as well as the central government procurement policies are not very much mainstreamed to absorb this kind of new eco products and the eco labeling programs. Here we do have the problems, and we have the problems of market organizations. And another area is working on how this circular economy concept can be integrated with this new industry 4.0. And we identified about 10 technologies that can complement the concept of the circular economy as well as this concept of industry 4.0. And here we find what could be the public-private partnerships, and what could be the market-based mechanisms that could be evolved, and this kind of new digitally enabled technologies can be integrated into this recycling that is a circular value chain. So that is they bring the competitiveness and the resource efficiency along the value chain. And we developed a kind of assessment tool, self-assessment tool that can be used by the city level, or it could be used by the farm level. And it depends upon the 17 indicators, where you can see by testing by yourself, you can see how far you are ready for accepting or embracing this concept of the circular economy. And here we also find some of these concept has been mainstreamed in some of the economies under the concept of this cleaner production, and this cleaner production has been moved into the cleaner economy. And we found, and these are the examples for how many farms that is operating at the city level, they are adopting this R&D. And here we found ASEAN, particularly this emerging economies, ASEAN has relatively greater innovation efficiency than the rest of the developing countries in the Asia Pacific. Where this efficiency is conveying is depends
Sorry,
upon.
Mr. Ambu Mozi, your time is already finished, Pak.
Okay, sure. I'll wind up on here, and thank you very much. And this is a kind of a circular economy creating that is we have for the ASEAN countries, and we can find, we can have the countries on the different legs. And here we find basically when coming to the circular economy at the sitting level, and we have that potential innovators like Singapore and Malaysia. And then we have the second category of countries, that is Indonesia, Philippines, and Thailand. And we do have the transitional countries like Vietnam and Cambodia and Laos. So this is my last slide. And here we can say that is with the rapid economic growth, resource consumption has been greatly increasing in the ASEAN cities, and resource efficiency through circular economy concept is very crucial. And the current approaches to integrate these circular economy concepts is still kind of a buzzword, but we need to have that resource efficiency. We need new business value positions. And three or four approaches are effective for entry points, but innovations in the technological and the financial models are here, and more attention is new developed market scenarios for the waste to energy project. And you can visit this website, and this is a www.ir.area.org. We developed a kind of a self-assessment tool for the firms, for the cities, and for the governments to test where they stand out. And this is our contact details. And if you are wanted, you can reach us to us. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ambu Mozi, for a very interesting presentation and also many examples about some circular economy activities in Asia. Thank you. So, distinguished guests, let's move to our next panelist. Our second panelist is Mrs. Nisa Nidasari. Good afternoon, Ms. Nidasari. She is a project officer for Circular Economy ICLEI Indonesia. Mrs. Nidasari is a program officer at ICLEI Indonesia, and she serves as a national coordinator in Indonesia for the integrated resource management in Asia cities. The Urban Nexus, a regional program supporting 10 cities in 6 Asian countries to utilize the integrated resource management, particularly in the water, food, and energy sectors, in infrastructure project and urban development process. Her specific tasks is range from coordination and communication with partners, organizations, of capacity building, workshop, preparation of workshop report, and support the development of pilot project in Pekanbaru and Tanjung Pinang City. She also involved in Asian Climate Change Resilience Network project, where she assists the local government in Indonesia in formulating city resilience strategy through the conduct of assessment on vulnerability and urban system adaptive capacity. Prior to joining ICLEI, she worked as a researcher at Indonesia Center for Environmental Law, where she provided research, advocacy, and capacity building to improve the environmental governance both in local and national level. Her education is as a bachelor degree in law from University of Indonesia. Ms. Nidasari, the time is yours, please.
Thank you very much, Bu Asi, for the complete introduction. Let me start my presentation by sharing my screen.
Please, Bu, and please remind that it's 12 minutes presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the reminder. Hello, everyone. My name, again, is Nisa Nidasari. You can call me Nisa. I am a local government associate at ICLEI Local Governments for Sustainability Indonesia. And today I want to talk to you all about the innovation to help cities transition to a circular economy. So first of all, I'd like to introduce where I'm coming from. So my organization is called ICLE. Perhaps one of you have heard it before. ICLE is a global network of more than 1,750 local and regional governments committed to sustainable urban development. And in Indonesia, we have 14 members, include DKI Jakarta, Balikpapan, Bogor, Jambi, Tanjung Pinang. And we also closely working with APEXI, or Association of Indonesian Municipalities. We have been operating since 2010 with flagship projects such as Urban Low Emission Development Strategy, or Urban LEDS, ambitious city promises, and other projects related to adaptation of climate change. ICLE engage at the local to global levels, shaping policy and sparking action to transform urban environment worldwide. And in subnational level, ICLE drive change along 5 interconnected pathways that cut across sectors. Right. And as mentioned before, that our activities are based on 5 ICLE pathways agenda, and they are low emission development, nature-based development, equitable and people-centered development, resilient development, and the last one is circular development. Why we make circular development as a standalone pathway? Because we think that this is very important and strategic to be promoted in cities, because circular development decouples urban economic development from resource consumption and environment degradation, and new local economies can be born out of circular development, economies that are productive and not extractive, where resources are exchanged and not wasted. And given the current situation and challenges that happen due to the COVID-19, we think that using circular economy, cities in Indonesia and around the world can build back better from the challenges and the economic crisis due to the COVID. So today I would like to introduce you about Circle City Scan tool, which is a digital tool that can help cities transition to circular economy. This tool is developed by Circle Economy, and together with ICLE, we pilot tested the tool in 10 cities from 3 regions in Africa, Southeast Asia, and Europe. And in Indonesia, we did pilot project in Bogor City and Bogor Regency. CST is a fact-based innovation and transformation process based on a local multi-stakeholder model that aims to develop practical and scalable solutions in cities to accelerate the transition to a circular economy. The process enables local governments to discover and prioritize circular opportunities for their city or region based on data from social, economic, and material input data and the relevant case study. To give you some ideas, more ideas regarding what is this tool all about, I'd like to demonstrate how the Circle City Scan tool is working. So here, first of all, we have to open the website, www.cities.circlestripelab.com. And here we have to input the name of the city that we are coming from, or the city that we want to scan with the help of the Circle City Scan tools. As an example, I will write a Bogor city name here. And then as I have a previous scan, I can directly go to this page. So here, first, we need to upload the data that is required by the tools, such as gross value added, GAG emission, jobs, and material inputs. And based on the data that we submit, we can go to the next phase, where the tools will help us to see what is the impact of each economic sector to the local economy, employment, and environment impact. In this case, in terms of GHG emission. And then from these sectors, we can choose which sectors we want to focus on. let's say we choose the last sector, which is trade, transport, accommodation, and food service activities, because it has a huge contribution to the local economy as well as environment impact. Once we choose the priority sector, the tools will give us a greater insight how physical resources flow through the city in the selected economic sector, and then we can choose which material we want to focus on. For this exercise, let's say I will choose fossil carriers, and we can narrow by impacts. Okay. In this page, you can see that there are 4 impacts areas that we can choose to be focused on before we proceed to the opportunities. The impacts are reduce emission, reduce material consumption, minimize waste, save water. This is the impact that we want to focus on when we talk about transitioning into circular economy. For this exercise, I choose reduce emission. And the tools will bring us to, in my opinion, the most interesting feature from CCST tools, which is called opportunity radar. In this page, we will be presented by 3 core circular strategies in green color and 4 enabling circular strategy in blue color. As you can see from the screen, that the circular strategies is not only focusing on management of waste, but also how to maximize the lifetime of the product, as well as promoting regenerative resources, or how to maximize resource consumption. All of the circular strategies presented here are equipped with subcategories and case study. For example, I choose regenerative energy, which is under prioritized regenerative resources. And then when we type all here, which means all cities, the tools will show us a lot of case study and best practices around the world that can be a reference for our city when we are developing practical and scalable solutions to accelerate the transition to a circular economy. And we can click read more if you want to find more detail about what's been done in other cities. Let me get back to my presentation. So as mentioned before, we tried this innovation to help cities transition to circular economy in Bogor City and in Bogor Regency. And if you want to try these tools also, you can do so, because the prototype of the tools is available online for all to freely explore. All you have to do is just go to this website and follow the steps that I have explained before. Since this is still a prototype, we are really encouraged and welcome to any input and suggestion from you and from the cities. And just to share with you, through the process that we have conducted with Bogor City and Bogor Regencies, we've been able to find which circular strategies that has a big possibility to be conducted in the city. And they are, as you can see on the screen, the first is to reutilize unused fabric or patchwork into valuable products such as clothes, face masks, apron, collaborated with the local designer. Even Bogor City has announced that they will develop a village in Sindang Sari as a new tourism destination that will attract the tourists for its patchwork products. The second one is utilizing organic waste treatment using black fly powder from traditional market, hotel, and restaurant. So this is highly relevant if you are cities with a lot of hotels and with a lot of restaurants, such as in Bogor and Bogor City. If we can communicate with the hotel owners and the restaurant owners to manage the waste together using black fly powder, we can produce maggot, and we can sell the maggot as a feed for animal. And this will
your time is 1 minute.
Okay. And this will generate income that can help to recover the economy. Another one is utilization of used coffee grounds from coffee shops. As you all know, more and more coffee shops is opening up in cities, especially in Indonesia. And 90% of the used coffee ground end up in trash bin. So it's better if we can gather the coffee ground and treat it and turn it into fertilizer and beauty products that can generate income and reduce the waste going to the landfill. And another one is utilization of fish skin and bone to fish cracker, and utilization of coffee skin to cascara. This is very relevant in the context of Bogor Regency because they have coffee plantation, and most of the time the people, they throw away the dried skin while it has a good potential to turn it into herbal tea that can be sold with a high price. I think that's all that I can share from my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. If you have any question, you can address it to my email, or you can ask me directly after this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Nidasari. Very interesting presentation, which show us like tools, that we can use for the circular, and also some of example that like strategies for the circular economy that we can do in daily basis.
Yeah.
Let's move to our next panelist, the third panelist. We'll welcome Mr. Tauhid Ahmad. Good afternoon, Mr. Ahmad. He is an executive director at the Institute for Development of Economic and Finance, or we usually call it INDEF, Jakarta. He earned his bachelor degree from the Faculty of Agriculture Department of Agriculture Socio-Economic with a major in Resource Economic, Bogor Agricultural University. He earned his master in Faculty of Economic with major in Monetary Economic from University of Indonesia. And he had a doctorate at Faculty of Economics and Management with a major in Agricultural Economic from Bogor Agricultural University also. By the 2020, he also got an experience in policy dialogue, looking at the future financial technology and MSMEs in 2021, supported by Amarta as a coordinator and survey on public perception of the job creation law, especially the licensing cluster, MSMEs, and manpower protection, supported by the Capital Investment Coordinating Board, or we usually known as BKPN, as a team leader. So, Mr. Tauhid Ahmad, the panel is yours. And let me give you a gentle reminder that the time is 12 minutes. Please.
Thank you, Ms. Asri, for the opportunity given to me to speak for the forum, the For Indonesia Circular Economy Forum, which is very important for Indonesia in the midst of the recovery situation from the COVID. And I myself actually got COVID about 3 weeks ago and currently still in recovery. Besides, it's a bit difficult because some of it has been discussed by the previous speaker. So I am just adding. There are two focus. The first one is the roles of research, publication, and education to establish smart and sustainable cities in Indonesia. And the second one, a connection of micro, small, medium, big economic development in cities area. For the first term, it's very important considering that the country that places research and innovation as well as publication as one of the priorities in policy and budget, the country will be much more advanced. For example, China has overtaken America and Japan in cities development, considering that these countries are quite concerned about the increase their R&D budget in 20 years than America and Japan. Let's move to the third screen. Okay, so let's go back to the basic understanding. We understand about the research, innovation, and publication as the study results that research is an activity carried out according the scientific methodology for obtaining data and information related to understanding about natural and or social phenomena, evidence or truth or untruth and assumption and also hypothesis. And by that, it's drawing conclusion scientifics. And innovation is the result of thinking. This is about the research and development, assessment on application, which contain element of novelty. That's the novelty is important and has been applied. So even we have novelty that haven't been applied, that's not innovation. And also this innovation provide benefit in economic, social, or other things. And also about definition of publication is the activity disseminating information and or promoting of matter. Of course, research and innovation research by proactively and extensively by one party or another party with the aim of being used to increase its usefulness. So this is the basic definition. Maybe you have another definition, but in our lecture is this simple definition. So what's the relationship between research, innovation, and publication with smart and sustainable city? Next, please. Of course, the relation is closely related to the focus and object of smart sustainable city. Among them, provide mobile internet, promote e-government services, develop business collaboration, provision water, electric supply, until recycling of solid waste is an object to be in research, innovation, and publication. Each of these objects will certainly have different research, innovation, and publication that focus on. For example, for water and electricity supply, research, innovation, publication are urgently needed by city that has fit to decreasing in energy and clean water source. And for one example, one of the roles of the research, innovation, and publication is, next please, there are one is to identify problem and solution faced by a city based on evidence base. As you can see from the flood map of Jakarta, that Jakarta has serious problem of flood, also on traffic, air pollution, and also I think last week Jakarta will be seeing in the next few years, the NASA said I think it is the main problem of Jakarta, then also need to be solved by using research, innovation, publication approach for each of the main problem above. Another roles is for research, innovation, and publication is create the technology needed in the development of a smart and sustainable city, as well as was water treatment with chemical technology, physical technology, and how the water can be used. The same is true for waste management and also environmental management. The next, please. So, and also the another roles is of the research, innovation, and publication is to generate added value from product and or production process that can be used by city. For example, processing plastic and non-plastic waste that can be processed into compost with added value economic, it's very useful, including plastic, which can also be used as material for construction and other material. The added value of waste originally useless becomes something of high added value. The process of change requires technology that begins with research and innovation, the production process for the waste. Next, please. Yes, yeah, that's next. Yeah, the publication also have important role that will have a positive effect in increasing the motivation and also performance of the city, as illustrated in the data and maps that you can see. The most polluted cities and the most polluted, then this is indicator for the city to improve its city so that the pollution conditions are better, such as Semarang, and then Pontianak, Bandung, Jakarta is polluted city. So for local government, this will spur strategy and policy as well as program from the regional budget. Of course, that roles have many challenges. First, research and innovation require large R&D, but relatively small of government and private budget support that you can see from the World Bank data. Our budget less than 0.3% of GDP. You can see United States of Japan more than 5% of GDP. It's very high, the distance is very high. The research carried out is generally only in the finding stage. Only few can be implemented. There is administrative problem, budgetary problem, also utilization problem. In 2019, we have 32,000 journals, but only less can become a product or become a good industrial product or become a good technological product. That's I think this one change. Also the challenge is number of researchers in Indonesia still low. The last minister, Mr. Bambang Brojonegoro, said that we have only 7,400 people as a researcher. Even the lecturer from the university is a good researcher, but they not the good researcher to become good researcher to product to make some innovations. This amount is not enough to support the development of research and the emergence of innovation for cities in Indonesia. Another challenge is innovation development of city is highly dependent on the central government. Unless the city has sufficient funding, like Jakarta or Surabaya, and I think not much city have good power to highly depend on their research. Another challenge is the progress of smart city is very little, much determined by leadership figure rather than good and systematic planning. So the next future agenda, next please.
Remaining time is 2 minutes, Pak.
Okay. Next, we need collaboration with university, research institute, profession of research fund with focus on technology, and also important technology transfer in every fund investment. And good and systematic smart sustainable city planning required commitment from policymaker. And also important that each city has priority agenda for smart and sustainable cities, including possibility of cooperation between cities in those agenda. The next time is micro, small, medium, big economic development is in cities area. I think it's interesting topic, but how can we define this issue? Next, please. Yes. Okay. Next. Okay. Next. Okay. Next, yeah. I will start with each definition. Yeah, next, please. By looking the physical characteristic of city based on population, as with the micro scale with population less than 2,000 to 20,000, microeconomic development aims to improve their welfare population in the region. Although this might not appropriate, the goal of development is put back to the population to ultimate goal is welfare, income, poverty, employment. The same is for the small, medium, and large scale. Next, we have three types of connection. First, on the basis, there are lists. First is can be seen from the sector linkage. Each city generally has a main sector, or often referred to as base sector, namely trade, hotel, restaurant, and service. This sector is a big economic development that has important role in employment, GDP, and also an export. However, often city is also very dependent on the industrial sector. This basic sector we call it with the supporting sector, even to medium, small, and also the microeconomic development. The challenge is also the investment flows in city will tend in the tertiary sector, while the secondary and primary sector will tend to be lower. Next, upstream and downstream linkage between sector in city are still not optimal. Usually in the services sector, import is the main choice, considering the need imported product is more attractive, and also downstream industry will not developed. Of course, is by problem with raw material, technology, and also human resource. Next, another
is up, Pak.
Okay, the last one is second. The last one about the between regions, between industrial forecast, industrial agglomeration, also for medium for the support industry, and also small economic development with worker facility and worker life support as microeconomic microeconomic development. The last model about the between players. So we know that Indonesia dominant by this sector of micro 98%, small about 1.2%, and big business 0.01%. This very poor that because the big business have main player in GDP, but micro business have a main player of the numbers of workers, but not a main player in GDP. So I think business sector, its level economic development will have different flows. Big business will enter big economic development, even up of middle economic development. So I think the next future agenda with the three type of the connection between small, medium, big, and big economic development is in the city. Downstreaming and linkage of main economic sector is the key to employment, poverty reduction, and income group disparity, as well as the economic development must be linkage to the spatial planning, particularly with regard to population development, interregional mobility, and source of economic development, economic growth. The last one is a connection between actors to be accompanied by effort to increase capacity, market access, and capital transfer technology, and guarantee adequate of price. Collaboration also needed to involve local government, university, as well as business association and other professional parties. I think that's all. I cut my presentation. Thank you, Ms. Asri.
Ya, terima kasih banyak, Bapak.
Yeah, thank you. Makasih,
thank you very much for your very interesting presentation, yeah, especially about the challenge, yeah, on how we implement the circular sanitation, and also how we can manage to have a research, a good research on circular strategy on the circular city, yeah, for the research and also innovation. Next one, it will be a video from Mr. Willy Muller from the Institute for Advanced Architecture of Catalonia. From Catalonia. This will be a pre-record video. He was born in Argentina. He is an architect who is graduated from University of La Plata, Argentina. In the 1986, he completed his PhD program at Barcelona School of Architecture. Since 1996, he has run his own firm, WMA, Willy Muller Architect, which has won several prizes in national and international competition. He is also author of several books, which include Metapolis Barcelona, Metapolis Dictionary of Advanced Architecture, Media House Project, Hyper Catalunya, Occupying Structures, Urban Exchange Platform, HK Barcelona, Changing Barcelona Waterfront, and recently Expedition for XXI Century. Nowadays, he has founded and leads a new space inside IAAC, Urban Science Laboratory, and is a director of an urban science degree program with the Pompeu Fabra University and IAAC in Barcelona. So let's enjoy the video.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for inviting me to these sessions, and my apologies for not being able to be present online. I'm Willy Muller, architect and urbanist from Barcelona, founder of IAC, the Institute of Advanced Architecture in Catalonia, in Spain. And I'd like to share with you a brief presentation of our institute, from where for more than 20 years we have been working for a more sustainable, ecologic and responsible world. From IAC, we launched the agenda for new technologies associated to the education, and especially to those of all disciplines related to the design, from objects to territories, from bytes to geographies. During the last years, we have also promoted the investigation of the response that as a designer we should offer to face the biggest challenge of this century, the climatic change, and do it with sustainable, circular and innovative vision. As an urbanist, I had chance to lead, together with young professionals of IAC, a number of different strategic and urbanistic plans, such as Moscow, Rio de Janeiro, and different projects in Asia, to put some examples. And from my laboratory of urban science, we are in constant collaboration with different institutions and governmental bodies to search for the solutions for all these problems. I hope that the work done during these sessions will be really fruitful, and that all together we can build a better world. Dear friends, this is IAC. Thank you very much and see you soon.
The Institute for Advanced Architecture of Catalonia shapes the next generation of professionals to expand the boundaries of architecture, urbanism, design, and robotics to meet the challenges of tomorrow.
We follow the digital revolution at all scales, from bits to geographies, from microcontrollers to cities, from materials to the territory.
The IAC is a family of visionaries that can help me make your dreams possible.
And a platform for me to meet people from around the world.
That kind of put together, create this very stimulating environment.
People from different cultural and professional backgrounds, and we come together to
realize the futures we all want to live in.
With the help of advanced technologies and performance-based design, we shape the future of our habitat, enabling our students to think out of the box, innovating for tomorrow, and building in the present.
ladies and gentlemen, it's very interesting to see the video from Mr. Willy Muller that shown us about there's some institute that have dedicated also into part of the circular cities, especially in Catalonia, Barcelona. So for our last but not least speaker, we have a woman. She is Miss Ajeng Arumsari. She is a local head of LIPI Clean Technology Research. Miss Ajeng Arumsari, the time is yours. It's around 12 minutes, please.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I would like to share screen. Okay, dear panelists, moderator, and also the participant of the forum. Thank you for the opportunity given to BRIN to present the topic about the advancing circular cities from the research and innovation. And I represent Dr. Laksana Trihandoko to deliver his presentation. And previous, the panelists already talked about the waste management and the circular economy. And now I would like to talk about the smart cities. Okay, we know that since 2016, the United Nations create the 17 global goals that called the Sustainable Development Goals. They address the global challenge we face not only in terms of the ecology, but they also relate to the poverty, inequality, and peace, and also the justice. The goals are intended to be achieved by the year 2030. And we know that the world's population is constantly increasing, and to accommodate everyone, we need to build the modern, sustainable cities. To survive and prosper, we need new intelligent urban planning that creates safe, affordable, with the green and culturally inspiring living condition. And when we talk about the enjoy life and also the feel comfortable, we cannot escape from the concept of the society 4.0. Because in this concept, we utilize the various innovation that born in the era of the industrial 4.0, such as the IoT, artificial intelligence, big data, etc. And what is the smart cities? These innovative cities that use information communication technology to improve the quality of life, efficiency of the urban operation and the services. And in here, we use the IoT technologies, and I can say it's we introduce the IoT innovation to get the smart sustainable cities, so we can improve the different aspect of their urban management. For example, the urban mobility, public transportation, e-governance, etc. And this slide shows about the key areas to deal with the smart city. So we need the intelligent governance, and then the environment sector, and legality, security, etc. And when we talk about the smart city challenges, we can say that it can be divided within the 4 main dimensions for the citizens, and then mobility, environment, and the last one is governance. And this is notably important as the citizen might fear the introduction of the innovation technologies. And if we see from the government dimension, we can say that the smart city concept requires a government models, such as the combination of the institutional policies that with the bottom-up initiative, and then we have need the collaboration and the communication. And the mobility dimension has aimed to provide the sustainable, inclusive, and efficient of the mobility system for the both good and people in the urban area. And for the environment dimension, it includes the efficient and the sustainable resources management, such as the water and energy, and then pollution, and for general, the impact of the urban activities. And now I would like to talk about the environment sectors. So here we can see that the air, energy, green areas, and waste. So if we can see from the waste management part, So waste management part can represent an interesting aspect that can contribute to the evolution towards the smart city. For example, by using the IoT, we can make improvement for the citizens. For example, the waste basket with some IoT monitoring devices, and then being able to remotely to collect information from each basket. Or in this pandemic area, in the pandemic era, we can use, we can develop such as the, how I can say, the deposit box for the mass waste that equipped with the automatic system for the disinfection process. Yes, it's interesting, right? And then for the energy sector, when we talk about the clean energy, we suggest that the energy consumption has a very minimal negative impact on the environment. And so a smart energy system consists of the intelligent integration of the decentralized, the sustainable energy sources. So the IoT oriented can be used to control the operation with an appropriate level of the energy consumption to the smart appliances. For example, for the water heaters or the dishwashers. Or also in this era, we can use the IoT system for the electric cars and also its recharging stations. And then from the water and the air part, we can talk about the monitoring of the air and the water quality. So usually in the traditional or in the conventional method for the monitoring, it needs the, how I can say, the expensive and the bulky system. But now, when we use the IoT system, so we can use the quality monitoring system based on the low cost and accurate sensors. That the sensor can be integrated in the WSNs distributed at high spatial resolution in the smart cities. And when we talk about the smart cities, we should think about the breakthroughs in the research and development, including the construction of the research infrastructure. And of course, when we talk about how to make the smart cities, we cannot escape from the pentahelic collaboration. It consists of the government, because the government have the political power to formulate the policy through the decisions. And then the next step is community, is the social power. And then also the academic and also the research institution like BRIN, so we can collaborate as the power of the knowledge through the research. And then we have also the business or the entrepreneur, and the last one is the media to generate the attention and demonstrate the power of the commitment and the support. So when we talk about the smart city, we have the purpose to develop the technological and social innovation, and then how we can eradicate energy poverty and spatial exclusion, and the connect the global economic cities as a global network hubs. So of course, in here, we need the research. Now I would like to talk a little bit about the BRIN. So BRIN have the 3 directions and the 7 targets. For the direction, it's like the consolidating research and innovation, and then creating an open, collaborative global standard research ecosystem, and then creating the foundation of the strong and sustained research and innovation-based economy. The previous panelist, Mr. Tauhid, also said that we need the collaboration between the collaboration research, right, between the institute. So in here, we try to make targets such as the refocusing the research program, and then how we can make the Indonesia as a global platform for the natural resources and the local diversity-based research. And of course, we need to facilitate and being the enabler for the national industries and business players to conduct research and development-based product development. So you can see here that this slide shows concerning the input of the component of research. We can see that the Dr. Handoko mentioned that there are 3 components, the important components here. That the most important is the talented human resources. is that share about the 70% of the whole input of the research. And then the other is the research infrastructure covering more or less the 20%, and the rest is the money. So we hope that by these three components, we can get the many global network, and then also the collaboration with the local or global private sector, and then the public and global network. So here, we hope that the BRIN can be a hub and enabler for the collaboration of the multi-global and the local parties. So we do open the platform for the human infrastructure and the network in the BRIN to the private sector, such as the industry, and then also the academic and the graduate students by using the several mechanisms scheme here, and also such as the postdoctoral and then PhD by research, and then recreating fresh PhD. And we hope that we will get the creative economy here, that we can facilitate the partners, encourage the innopreneurship. So this is, I get the example for our research related maybe about environment. We know that based on the sustainable development goals in the clean water and the sanitation, so we need the, how I can say, the environment more better. Yeah. And we have some project here, such as the environmentally friendly wastewater treatment technology, and an accelerated technology improving water quality, and water recycle technology for the smart cities. And the last one is the online monitoring technology using the IoT-based platform. And for the enablers smart cities here, that we need the telecommunication network infrastructure here to get the smart city system, so such as the IoT, cybersecurity, simulation, and then augmented reality, big data analytics, and also the artificial intelligence. And here that the some cases such as the smart sensor and the location-based sensor for the mobility and location information. And this is some research infrastructure that BRIN have, that we can also make the open platform here, such as the high performance computing, and also the big data, artificial intelligence, IoT data analysis, machine learning for the AI applications, and then science computing for the research, such as the new drug discovery, biodiversity, advanced materials, and climatology. And also we have rendering farm to make digital creative industry for the computer graphic application, such as the animation and the graphic design. I think that's all. Thank you for your kind attention. We can discuss.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ajeng, for your presentation. And ladies and gentlemen, so with Bu Ajeng's presentation, we finish all the 5 panelists for this afternoon. I'm sure that we all get some interesting information, yeah, and also eye-opening fact that later on maybe you all the participants, distinguished guests will want to ask. We will give you opportunity to put a question also in the Q&A box. We see there are already some questions. I think I will read first some of the questions that is not yet answered. Firstly is from Ms. Nadira Afina. The question is for Bu Nisa. So the question is, how does these tools, the tools that you present before, help push for actual collaboration? For example, you mentioned waste composting with maggots, which is of benefit for the other sector. How does this tool notify the relevant organization or individuals that they have the needs or demand, yeah, for such resource? I think how this tool can be able to connect the supply and demand. That's first for Bu Nisa. And also, I think I will also, one question for Bu Ajeng from Mr. Calvin Juan Macros. So Bu Ajeng, what are the challenges in implementing IoT for circular economy development in Indonesia? that you maybe experience or see. So maybe I will give opportunity for Miss Ajeng and Miss Nisa first to answer some question, because I see some of the question for Mr. Anbu Mozi is already answered by chat, but maybe Mr. Anbu Mozi, I will repeat again, yeah, some of the questions so you can reply directly. Okay, so Miss Ajeng and Miss Nisa, please.
Okay, maybe I can try first. Thank you very much for a very good question. Actually, the development of circle city scan tools highly emphasize on multi-stakeholder collaboration. So we really encourage that when the city are using the circle city scan tool to help them transitioning into circular economy, they can involve all relevant stakeholders throughout the process, starting from analyzing how economic sector impacting the economy, environment, and social aspect, especially in terms of employment, because sometimes we need to validate the data with the business sector themselves because they know the reality, right? And especially when we are talking about the material flow, it is very important for us to involve the stakeholders, the relevant stakeholders, especially the private sectors who knows more about the material that they are using and the source of the material. And in the next phase, which is to decide on which circular strategy that we want to pursue, since this will need collaboration not only from the city itself, but also from, again, business sectors, not only the big companies, but also the low, medium enterprises, especially when we talk about the initiative on coffee shops before, since coffee shops owners are usually categorized under low, medium enterprises, as well as the people who manage the waste, the landfill officer, the consumer, the academe, the change maker in the city need to be involved throughout the process so that we can join forces in helping hand in hand towards the circularity. I hope that answer your question.
Thank you. It's a very informative one. So it will be like a crowdfunding source of data, ya, Bu Nisa. So Bu Ajeng, what is the main challenge that you feel in Indonesia for the implementation?
Yeah, implementation related to the circular economy, right?
Yes.
Yes, when we talk about the circular economy, usually we think about the waste management, how we can separate the, how I can say, the domestic waste, something like that. So maybe we can, how we can apply the IoT for the, how I can say, for the make like waste business process, such as from the mix collecting and then sorting, transporting, and then the value treatment and chain disposal. So we can apply the IoT system. So maybe it's like the how maybe the detector, if it make if we put the false garbage, I mean, for example, the organic waste in the, for example, the green basket, and then the heavy metals in the blue basket. And when we the wrong basket, so maybe it's like make a alarm system or something like that. I think we can identify with the waste characteristic by using the IoT system, something like that.
Yeah, so for each stage, yeah, of the waste management, because we have one cycle, so in each stage, I think we can try to develop and try to find innovative way, yeah, to use the IoT in each part. I think so many possibilities, yeah, Bu Ajeng, yeah. But the challenge, I think, the question is what the challenge. I think maybe the challenge is how we maybe in the end applied, yeah, in like a big scale. But because in a small scale, maybe it will be easier to use, yeah.
Yeah. In the, how you can say, if we want to apply for the big scale, I think it's need collaboration. Yeah. Now the waste management is have the bank sampah, so maybe we can make a collaboration with the local government to apply this IoT system. But first we have to prepare the platform of the IoT system itself, so it can be applied for the large how you can say
scale
the
one later on, yeah.
large scale.
Yeah, so it's how to be able to implement. That's one of the challenge, yeah. Okay, thank you very much, Bu. And also, I will see if there's any other question. There will be a new question. It's for all the panelists, so please feel free to answer. From Mr. Sigit Wibisono. So when we talk about smart cities, we will definitely talk about the quality of its people, how to build the quality of society in line with the city development. So how we talk about the capacity building in the city, if we want to say about the circular city. So what to be prepared in the term of the people itself, the community itself. Maybe anyone wants to answer?
Yeah, I'll like to answer this question.
Yeah, please, Pak.
Yeah. I think it's the most important how to build the quality of society is how we can collaborate between the society, between people who have skill of something, of sometimes people have job and then sometimes they have a weakness, so they have one advantage, so they can change, they can communicate, and they can collaborate what we can do on the city development problem. So with collaborate, I think that's one chance to be excellent between them. So I think the first idea. The second idea, I think we have to in line with the government program, which is with basic participation with the low level until the sub-district, district, until the regional planning. So with this plan, we have support from the program budget and also capacity building with in line with the government planning. I think that two strategy if we want to build the quality of society in line with the city development.
Okay, thank you, Pak Tauhid Ahmad. I think I see that like Mr. Ambu Moji wants to add also, Pak. I see that you already want to speak, please. How about the human resource, Pak, for these circular cities?
I think the question is intruding, and what is when we think about these smart cities, what we are aiming for, and this is so for example, ASEAN has 26 cities signed into ASEAN Smart City Network. And if you look into their revision document, everything talks about the quality of life. That is the ultimate aim that is all the smart cities look for. But the problem here, the challenge here is what does it mean for the city mayor when you are asking the city mayor? And here for him or her, the main objective is this inclusivity. I think we know that is our cities are getting unequal, and we become more unequal in the growth in terms of availability of the opportunities. So here the opportunity is whether the smart city initiative, whether the application of these ICT technologies can bring that inclusivity, and we can reduce that inequality. And here we have the danger, and if this would have that kind of a model, and then it may increase this inequality among the cities that may reflect in the quality of the life. And my second point here is that innovation, and this innovation in the smart cities has to come from the private sector. I think this private sector, they need to have a kind of a new enterprise model. I think, for example, take the case of Jakarta, and here we do have the multinational companies. They cannot operate, but for example, an IBM in New York cannot operate in Jakarta. They need to find a new model where they need to partner with the local entrepreneurs, the social entrepreneurs. I think here we need a new model, that innovative model. It could be a kind of a enterprise model that target for improve the service delivery. And here IoT is not a means to bring that service delivery. Basically, it is a tool to achieve the service delivery, whether in the case of water delivery, whether it is energy systems or it is a waste management. What we are looking for, what the new model is looking for, is a kind of with less input. We need a much more service delivery. And my third point here, more challenging, is a third eye, that is integration. We know that the cities are very much, how can I say, have limitations in the technical capacity, in the financial capacity, and the governance issues. We know the challenges, and we know the limitations of the cities. And here they need to be sandwiched. They need to work. The cities need to work with the national governments, with the sectoral ministries, and as well as the social development objectives. I think here that is where there is much more integration need to be happen, and it may not happen over. And we know there is the limitations. We know there is that the budgets for these smart city initiatives are basically earmarked, and we know that is earmarked. But this project need about 15 years of funding, continuous funding. But this most of the budgets these revenues are coming from here, from the national governments. So we do have the difficulties. We need to acknowledge it, and we need to have the silo approach. And more importantly, I wish to share that if you are looking for the circular cities, we need to develop a KPIs, key performance indicators. Without that, you cannot measure where you are moving in.
I think I agree with you that we have to have the indicators, and also we have to we have to integrate from many resources, like you say, like a business and maybe from the government and all the stakeholders, so we can work together to achieve these circular cities. So thank you all panelists for today's discussion. Sorry for the limitation of the time. Thank you for our brilliant presentation and answer. So we hope audience, this can satisfy your curiosities, and also maybe if you have another question, you can contact our panelists directly. So as a closer, so excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, from this session, we can conclude that transition to a circular economy will create economic co-benefits such as enhanced material productivity and environmental co-benefit also, such as waste to energy. It creates a lot of opportunities for well-being, growth, and jobs, but also while reducing environmental pressure for Asian countries. But to be able to do that, as we saw from the last 5 panelists, that it really needs a lot of effort also. There's a lot of challenges, that we see, but it's not something that we can overcome with. By the integration and by the collaboration from many stakeholders like government, business partners, and also the community itself, and to be able to use all the possibilities, the possibility of 5.0 as we said, and also the IoT, and also how we can be able to connect the demand and supply. Then we hope we can be able to have strengthen the micro, small, medium, big economic development in the cities area. Downstreaming and linkage of the main economic sector is the key also. Later on, in the bigger leverage, it can be helping the employment and poverty reduction, and we hope that in the end there will be income for the group of disparities. Thank you, panelists and participants, for attending this session, and please look forward to all other incredible sessions at Indonesian Circular Economy Forum. Thank you very much. I would like to hand over again the session back to Ms. Amelia Yahya.
Thank you very much, Ibu Asri and Bapak Dida. Thank you for excellently, wonderfully moderating the session. And thank you for all of our speakers for your insights. And to sum up a little bit, just as Ibu Asri has stated, cities really do indeed play a central role in the global economy, home to more than half of the world's population. They are indeed very creative and innovative centers of growth. And this learning path explores how applying the principles of the circular economy to urban development will create cities that are able to thrive in the long term, bringing prosperity to their citizens within planetary boundaries. And so, everyone, on our next, on to the next of our forum is the Circular Jumpstart. It is a startup incubation as well as a launchpad program designed to help startups in their infancy succeed by providing mentoring as well as growth tools and access to funding, as well as opening doors for potential investments. This 2-month program is designed for climate tech startups that work towards the circular economy in Indonesia. 15 startups were selected as the finalists out of 110 plus applicants on 3 innovation challenges, which are sustainable material creation, rethinking consumption, as well as product use, especially through empowering SMEs and also reinvent waste management systems. After their demo day yesterday, the 22nd of July, in front of 6 esteemed judges and audience, today let us all announce all the startups who will be receiving the awards and grants of the Circular Jumpstart 2021. So for that, we'd like to welcome Mr. Jonathan David, the CEO of Ecosystem Venture Builder, to guide you through the awarding ceremony. It is indeed very much anticipated. Pak Jonathan, take it away. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Bu Amelia Yahya. Good afternoon, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for coming and attending the sessions today. Today is the awarding ceremony for our 2 months long incubations and launchpad program, the Circular Jumpstart. As mentioned before, yesterday you have witnessed the pitching sessions from all 15 participating startups, and I hope you are all excited as much as I am today to see the great solutions that these inventive people have created to achieve the circular economy dream in Indonesia. For today's session, there will be 4 winners for all the awarding sessions with the category as follows. There will be 1 winner from the people's favorite category from video contest, and also there will be 3 winners, 2 runners-up and 1 first prize winner for the incubations program. Now, let's move on to the first winner awarding sessions. During the contest of the video competitions, we have received 9 startups joining the competition to share and promote their solutions to the public. They have come up with multiple concepts for the video and creative ways to promote it. Over the contest period, the video that received the highest engagement have become the people's favorite category winner. And it is the startups that works to transform the way we buy FMCG product. This is the winning video from the People Choice Award startup. Please enjoy.
Ini Ibu Siska, hobinya dia belanja. Bu, atuh gak muat di situ sampahnya Ibu. Bu, apa tuh? Disuruh sentuh aku. Kayaknya boleh dicoba deh. Sentuh. Jadi ringan. Yah, jadi berat lagi deh. Coba sentuh lagi Bu, ada apa ya? Wah, saking hebatnya bisa beli emas. Wah, sentuh lagi Bu. Nah, refill di kios udah gampang, cepet lagi. Santai banget deh pokoknya. Udah berasa kayak ratu banget ya sih? Tenang, ini semua bukan mimpi. Kalau kalian refill di kios, gini caranya.
Fantastic, super. Congratulations from Kios. You have here with us Darina from Kios. Congratulations to Kios on becoming the public favorite and receiving the 5 million video contest rewards. Your promotion was very fun, as you can see, also very creative, and it gives insights to promote the circular cause. Do you want to say a few sentences, 1 or 2 sentences about the messages that you promote?
Okay, first of all, thank you so much for everyone for the amazing event and opportunity, and of course for our friends, family, and our customers, our followers. Thank you so much for the vote. It means a lot to us, and that our message of making racial revolution happen viral. It's our first step, but then let's go on to making impact more together. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much, Darina from Kiosk. Hopefully it inspires more messages to spread the principle of circularity more dynamic and also creatively. Now, let's move to the next awarding sessions and also to the most awaited announcement, the grand prize winner for the Circular Jumpstart program. Before we start, know that everyone here is already a winner for us because of the great strides, relentless dedication to your mission, and also the innovative ideas and execution that you have shown towards all the incubation program. I'm honored to be facilitating the incubation and launchpad program, and we really look forward to grow together with all of these startups that have participated. Out of the 15 finalists that participated in the 9 workshop classes and yesterday's demo day, our esteemed judges have selected the top 3 grand finalists for these competitions. The startup will receive post-program support from ecosystem, as well as in-kind support from our supporters Sendit for all their payment-related activities, valued up to 140 million rupiah each. The judging criteria used were 7 key points, which are STEAM relevance and ideas to the circular economy, transformative potential, technical and product feasibilities, team potential or founder industry fit, market desirability and go-to-market strategies, business viability, and also the pitch deck delivery. And so, here are the 3 grand finalists. The first one is LightCon.
Setiap tahun, jutaan ton residu abu batubara telah dihasilkan dari pembakaran batubara untuk kebutuhan energi listrik. Di sisi lain, ada ratusan hektar lahan subur yang hilang, diambil setiap tahunnya karena diolah menjadi bata merah demi menunjang industri dan pembangunan. Demi menjaga kelestarian bumi, kami memiliki langkah yang tepat untuk solusi yang ramah lingkungan dan ekonomis. SCI, bersama kita. Dengan memanfaatkan fly ash, kami telah berhasil memproduksi Litcon bata ringan sebagai pengganti bata merah. Dengan Litcon, kini proyek konstruksi menjadi lebih bersahabat dan ramah lingkungan. Karena kami percaya, tidak ada limbah yang tidak berguna. Mari bergabung bersama kami demi mewujudkan bumi yang lebih hijau.
Fantastic. So that's the first nominations, Litcon from the SCI. Litcon has shows a very compelling case to transform the way we build our cities. As a solution, they have also shown relevance in transforming industrial waste into solutions to sand and topsoil challenges. Litcon provide clear go-to-market that we can believe in. On to the next grand finalists. Please welcome the next grand finalist, Robris.
This is Robris. It's come from a trash. Indonesia, the second place most produced trash to the ocean. Robris make a revolution. Bring new perspective about plastic waste and trash. So in the end, what is damage our planet, what we call waste, doesn't really become a waste. We turn it into something valuable. Make your home beautiful. We can create another innovation to prosper the people around the world and save our future environment.
As a startup, Robis has shown an artistic product with good story. where upcycled product can become premium on the right hands. They show great execution and also manage a great unit economics. Robris has shown promises not only locally, but also on to the global market for Indonesia's circular economy dream. On to the last grand finalist nominee, we have Turtle Safe.
Creating a plastic waste is easy. Plastic from your hamster paper pouch, toilet cleaner, glass cleaner. Cleaning with Turtle Safe is definitely easier. Formulated with natural ingredients and packaged with biodegradable material, it is compact, affordable, and creates no plastic waste. So choose your easy cleaning.
As a startup, Turtle Safe provided simple and understandable solutions to find alternatives to polluting products with their patent pending solutions. Refill of hand soap is already customary by consumer, so it is easy to convert. It has an interesting problem solution fit with a huge potential to grow and rethink our plastic usage in the first place. Now, all of these grand finalists, the nominees, will receive the in-kind support from ecosystem as well as the send it for all your future payment transfer. However, there will be one first winner of the Circular Jumpstart Launchpad program who will receive an extra 50 million Indonesian rupiah cash grant from ecosystem. Are you excited? And the winner is Turtle Safe. Congratulations, Turtle Safe. Turtle Safe received the grant funding equity free from ecosystem, as well as post-program in-kind support and the fee waiver from Send It for future transactions. It was a very tight scoring, but all of the judges agreed that it was quite well deserved. Please welcome Irene from Turtle Safe for saying a few words about you and Turtle Safe winning the grant support from Circular Jumpstart. The screen is yours.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Irene, representing Turtle Safe team here. This is a real honor for us to receive this award, and we want to take this opportunity to thank everyone who helped us on this journey. Ecosystem Venture Builder, as the organizer of this program, all the mentors and judges who continue to support and push us hard every week, and also all the other startups who participate and inspire us in this program. Turtle Safe promised to only get better at our work to achieve our vision, democratize access to eco-friendly clean products to all housewives from Sabang to Merauke. And also lastly, I want to remind everyone that we do not inherit this earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our grandchildren. Let's work collectively to heal our earth so our grandchildren can live happy and safe here. Because the future depends on the sustainable work we do today. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you again, Irene from Turtle Safe, and we are very happy that you have progressed very far during the short incubation period. And to all the startup participants, the grand final winners, the video contest winners, as well as all the cohorts participating, this is definitely not the end, but a milestone in our journey. So keep striving for the missions that you hold dear to your hearts, and let's make the circular economy possible in Indonesia. As a venture builder that works to enable ecopreneurs to solve climate challenges at scale, we, the ecosystem team, will be very happy to collaborate with you beyond the program. And also to the audience today, thank you for your keen support and kind support as well. With that, we officially conclude the Circular Jumpstart programs. Thank you all and congratulations. And very happy to be part of such a great crowd during the last 2 months. I will give it back to the Master of Ceremony, Ibu Amelia Yahya. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jonathan, and congratulations to all the winners. And well, everyone, in the response to the COVID-19 pandemic, calls for a recovery and circular economy have indeed never been more powerful. So many see this as a rare opportunity beyond the pandemic and to put forward smart and sustainable economy for a sustainable, resilient, and inclusive society. So you can imagine how important our forum is. And as this is our last day, but this shouldn't be the end for our discussion, efforts, and collaboration towards a more circular Indonesia. I hope that this event serves as a catalyst and platform for new initiatives in accelerating Indonesia's just transition. And as we have almost come to the end of our forum, please allow me to welcome Bapak Bijaksana Junarosano, the founder of Greeneration Foundation, to deliver the closing speech of the 4th ICEF and to emphasize the primary message and help you focus the main points that were made during the 3-day ICEF forum. So, Bapak Bijaksana, the time is yours.
Satu, dua, tiga. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Muhammad Bijaksana Junarosano, the founder of Greeneration Foundation. First of all, I would like to appreciate the ministers, ambassadors, our strategic partners, project partners, knowledge partners, outreach partners, all the speakers, moderators, MC that have contributed to making this event a success. And for all participants that join this event, thank you very much. We have come to the end of the 4th Indonesia Circular Economy Forum, or ICEF, organized by the Greeneration Foundation and partners, which has been going on for 3 days straight. I am pleased to announce that this activity are officially registered as the side event of the World Circular Economy Forum 2021. Prior to that, we also conducted some pre-event since October 2020 last year, followed by Circular Jumpstart, a startup incubation program, then by Circular Economy and Waste Management Practices Workshop for journalists. And the latest is forum group discussion discussing about waste management indicator for Smart Cities Index. Circular economy plays a major role in the development of our economy, especially amidst this current pandemic. On the first day, we learned that we need collaborative effort in order to transition to circular Indonesia economy. And this collaborative effort includes all of us, government, company, association, NGOs, university, and societies in general. We are also reminded that the world population continuously grows and the need for space at the same time increasing. People will turn to cities and urban living. Therefore, our cities need to be smart and sustainable through careful planning that intensify urban metabolism system. Cities also need to be circular in order to meet all the needs of the community. On the second day ICEF, we learned that circular economy approach can be used in the process of green procurement and green supply chain to close material loops. We should not see the pandemic as a setback of achieving a greener economy for both the public and private. Hence, by applying a circular economy, we can build back better because the recovery can be carried out in a sustainable manner, which can increase future resilience. And that will have a positive impact on economic growth, community well-being, and environmental sustainability. On the third day of ICEF, we learned that to further achieve a sustainable city, we highly need the role of academic and researcher to conduct a research and innovation regarding sustainability, smart cities, and circular economy to promoting an industrial symbiosis, cross-community collaboration for common benefits related to economic, social, and environmental performance. This is our last day, but this shouldn't be the end of our discussion, effort, and collaboration toward a more circular Indonesia economy. I hope that this event serves as a catalyst and a platform for new initiative in accelerating Indonesia just transition. You are more than welcome to visit our website www.indonesiacf.id to learn and discuss more about the development of circular economy in Indonesia and how all of us can contribute. Thank you again for your participation and full support to the ISEF this year. We open for all collaboration and partnership potential for Indonesia Circular Economy Forum next year. I wish you a good afternoon and hope everyone is safe and to those affected by this current situation can have what they need. Terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Pak Bijaksana. What a very strong anchor message to close this forum. As we have come to the end of our session, for those of you who had missed any sessions, don't worry, don't fret. You can catch up and watch via Greeneration Foundation's YouTube channel. And as the continuous efforts to support Indonesia's transition to a circular economy, ICF also creates an online platform which aims to gather, connect, and share the data and information regarding the circular economy in Indonesia. And everyone, you can also contribute your writings to be a part of our knowledge partners by visiting www.indonesiacef.id or contacting us at icf@greeneration.org for more information. ICF continues to be a platform for stakeholders to discuss issues, challenges, solutions, and recommendations of implementing a circular economy here in Indonesia, the largest economy in Southeast Asia among the least, and we will continue to aim to raise awareness and identify opportunities to work on the transition of the circular economy in Indonesia here. And everyone, this is our last day, unfortunately, of the forum this year, but this shouldn't be the end of our discussions, efforts, and collaboration towards a more circular Indonesia. That this event serves as a catalyst and platform for not just new initiatives in accelerating Indonesia's just transition, but also for a more sustainable future and also for a better world. We'd like to thank to everyone, and thanks to the 4th ICF 2021, we have brought together stakeholders to identify challenges and produce solutions, as well as recommendations to implement circular economy movements in Indonesia. We're so very proud to say that the 4th ICF is successfully held because of the endless and very strong supports from our strategic partners. Ladies and gentlemen, for the Ministry of National Development Planning, the EU-German co-finance projects Rethinking Plastic Circular Economy Solutions to Marine Litter, as well as IPRO praise the Embassy of Denmark and Indonesia, Waste for Change, IATL ITB, Blue Economy Foundation, and Most Valued Business Indonesia, Indonesia Global Compact Network, and PT Napindo, we thank every single one of you for your help and contribution. And we are also supported by our project partners, namely the Ministry of Law and Human Rights of the Republic of Indonesia, Frederick Newman Foundation for Freedom Indonesia, the Hungarian Embassy in Indonesia, Danone Indonesia, and Umbra Law Firm, Lensing, and also UNDP Indonesia, as well as partnering for green growth and the global goals of 2030, Refill Cycle Ecosystem Venture Builder, Indonesian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, or KADIN, ITB Alumni Association, Climate Institute and Landscape Indonesia, and also Smart Indonesia Initiative Association, Indo-Waste, and Indonesian NPAP. Ladies and gentlemen, the 4th ICEF is also part of the 2021 World Circular Economy Forum series of events. And last but not least, we would also like to sincerely thank our media partners, Aksi Kita Indonesia by BBC Media Action, jabarnews.com, Katadata, and greeners.co for supporting us. And once again, on behalf of our organizers, I'd like to once again thank our greatest audience. Thank you so much for your participation and for your attendance here today. Once again, without your support and your assistance, and your attendance, this forum would not be possible. I'm Amelia Yahya, and I would like to once again thank you, and have a wonderful rest of the day, and have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you very much, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.